Um,
All right.
However you have to do it.
All right. Welcome to the Pirate Radio, the Bro Show. Do we want to just like start cursing and saying the F word for like 10 minutes? After how long it took us to get on here? We're.
Oh my God! Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Starkiller Josh.
Yeah.
We got another Dreadpirate.
Yeah. And yeah, we just took an hour trying to get Facebook to work. Fuck that. We're doing a Discord call, so.
We're here.
Yeah, I'll try to put up a picture of Angelina Jolie's giant cheekbones, so you have something nice to look at, for the actual discussion. But also, this fucking movie has been looming over our heads for like a half a month, and we gotta exercise this demon. We gotta slay this beast. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Do you want to start or should I?
Yes. Well, it all depends. See, here's the thing, folks. Both watched this movie. Life kind of got in the way that made it hard for us to make this conversation, this podcast happen. And so I've been sitting on watching this movie for some time, and so it's Dreadpirate. But we have two different opinions on this. I personally think this movie is a must-see if you want to see a train wreck crash into an imploding building surrounded by dumpster fires. That's what you have. If you want devastation and hilarity, I do recommend this movie.
Meanwhile, this movie gave me an existential crisis. Like literally an existential crisis. This movie made me question what is a bad movie. This movie made me think introspectively about Nazi war propaganda and ISIS terrorist films and anything by Michael Bay, and started making me really question what's a bad movie. So I feel like for me, the worst movie in the world. I don't want to go too because it'll be off topic, but the worst movie in the world for me is it's hard to actually pin down an exact worst movie, but it's a collection of movies, and that's the live-action Resident Evil movies. The live-action Resident Evil movies, to me, are the worst thing ever, because I love Resident Evil. It's one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. I love the story of Resident Evil, and the live-action movies are not about that. They're just, hey, look at me, I'm Mila Jovovich, look how cool I am, what am I such a great action star, give me roles, yay, I married the director, and it just, that's the live-action Resident Evil movies, and they're bad, and they're awful. And it's at a point where I can't watch them. I literally, if someone else is watching them, I will leave the room. We got a friend of ours who I've seen movies with who he kind of likes them, but it's if we're sitting in a movie and a trailer comes up for it, I will leave the theater for 5 minutes. I've done it before because they make me so angry. The CGI ones are really good. Redemption's great. Damnation's amazing, and Vendetta is kind of goofy but awesome. It's Vendetta gets silly. Vendetta gets really silly. We get to the government dropping nukes on a wedding, and our villain deciding, Rebecca Chambers, I'm gonna marry you because you're the reincarnation of my dead wife, along with a million other plots in that movie. But that movie's enjoyable. And also on top of that, it's all it's set in the Resident Evil universe. It's all in canon. Whereas the live action ones just shit on canon. But I was nothing's ever really able to top that in terms of badness. And until now, where I think Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is so bad, it's I think somewhere because I don't have an order. I think it's better than it's not as bad as. It's not as bad as Afterlife, but it's better than Extinction. No, it's worse than Extinction, but it's better than Afterlife. That's where I'm at. It's right in the middle. I didn't think. I thought, oh yeah, I didn't like the first one. Let's see what happens. I didn't think it was gonna do this to me, and it was I found myself very angry by the end of this movie, and it was just like Spoonie angry, and it was that's not a good thing. So, yeah. No. I'll never forget his and Miles' review of Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, And I couldn't drive home from work, and I'm like, well, I didn't hate it that much, but it was like, you know, if I ever get to that point, you need to slap me. You need to slap me. I mean, I know I drunk called you for Man of Steel, but, back to you, Josh. What do you think of this movie?
So to reiterate, I would like to say yes. The first film I despised. It's a stupid movie.
Yeah.
It's pointless to make it. Especially because their twist on it was, we're not just doing live action retelling like word for word of our version of Sleeping Beauty. No, we're going to do the wicked version of Maleficent because no one demanded it.
Right.
And it was awful, in my personal opinion, because not only did they do something that, no one demanded any of this in any possible way. No one wanted to see Maleficent be a misunderstood hero.
Right.
But we also know this story several times. I mean, I think it's really bad when Once Upon a Time does it better.
I think it's bad when Kingdom Hearts 3 does it better,
really?
sir. Like talking about Maleficent. Maleficent is
a sympathetic person.
Yeah, Maleficent is executed better in the Kingdom Hearts games, which is story is crap, than she is in like any of these movies. And it's like oh my god, like in Kingdom Hearts 2 when she like I think it's better as her as a hero too, because she's like very much a villain in those games. But then like towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 where she like temporarily sides with Sora, she's like, look Sora, I don't like you and you don't like me, but hold on, me and Pete will hold off the nobodies for a little while. It's like, yeah, I mean, but again, that Kingdom Hearts 2 for me is the last of those games that work in any way whatsoever. Yeah, like nothing works about this incarnation of her. It's all bad.
But what I'm saying is, as far as I knew with Kingdom Hearts, I assumed she was still the Mistress of Evil, and there you have a what's it called? She's helping him out because of convenience or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like she's still a villain in
this movie. The first. But here they're essentially saying no. She does bad things because she's been wronged or whatever. And it's like the idea that she's not really evil. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? What's the intention with the first film? That baffled my brain.
Are you still talking? Hello? God damn you, Discord. Okay. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? God damn it. Fucking A. Yeah. Oh, you got dropped from Discord? Yeah. Okay, so this is the dark side of Discord. This is why Discord's a pain in the ass. Like, it does this crap where it just like it'll drop people, or you have to go and come back. You still see yourself in like the Discord chat? Yeah. Okay. Well, leave the group and then come back into it. It should work. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm still...
Yeah, okay, there you are. Well, and you... Yeah. Yeah. Come back in. Yeah. Okay.
Hope you can edit this.
Yeah, I can. We're good. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna hang up the phone now. So. Alright. Okay, no, this is Discord. This is why I wanted to do this on Facebook initially a couple months back. Because it's... Yeah. Okay. Discord's a pain in the ass, too.
So... what's the last thing you heard me say?
We were talking about how Maleficent was a bad... Oh, like this misunderstood hero bullshit.
Okay, so yeah, I was like, how is this gonna work if the movie's called The Mistress of All Evil, and she's not the Mistress of All Evil at all? She never was. That was never your intention, clearly. So the name is a lie.
Yeah.
And then for that, they had no idea what to do with this movie.
Yeah. Well, it's not like it's based off anything at this point. They already adapted Sleeping Beauty, and it's just like, at this point, it's like, they're like, oh,
yeah, but they didn't know what to do. So here in this film, they decide to like take a bunch of desperate ideas and slap them together. I talked to you about this off camera. It was like, okay, this movie's broken into like 3 acts, where the first act is a riff on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Right. It's like, oh, I've got to meet the parents. Is like, and it was like, yeah. Part of me wants to rant about like the existence of the Maleficent movies in the first place, but I'm worried like we're not going to be able to like, I'm worried we're going to have more technical problems, which I think is the weather's fault at this point. But like, yeah, okay, it starts off like, I assumed by the end of the first movie that, okay, Aurora and Philip got together, and like, no, apparently they haven't. Apparently he hasn't married her yet. And now they have to meet the parents, and like Maleficent hates him for some reason, and it's just like, you liked him at the end of the last movie. What do you mean, like no, you can't marry a human? It's like, what, like, yeah, I don't know, and like it's like let's just coming to dinner.
No,
yeah. Then it's the weird then it's the weird Chiwetel Ejiofor show. And then it's a really bad battle scene where the only thing I liked about it is everybody dies in it. Like, a bunch of people die, and I'm like, yay. It's like, but it's very disjointed. They don't know what's going on. You talk.
Spoilers. I really don't care. This movie, for those who do, this is going to definitely be spoilers. But this movie has been out for a long time. Yeah. I believe it came out in 2019.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have talked about this. I think I even saw a review of this movie and completely blanked it out, which was good. This was so much fun to watch. This was ridiculous. And full disclosure, I did see this while drinking.
Yeah.
But to me, all it did was enhance the stupid.
The halfling's leaf muddled your brain, did it not, Bilbo Baggins?
It sure did. Well, no, not really. What it did was nobody enjoyed it. What the halfling's leaf did for me was numb the pain, because the stupid was still there.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, this is so dumb. But I'm enjoying this because it never tries, in my opinion, this movie never tries to fix its mistakes.
Right.
It instead tries to keep going.
Yeah.
In a terrible direction. It's like watching Lucy or the Three Stooges, where they think the solution is more slapstick.
Right.
They see the problem or something, and it's great for comedy. Now, I know this movie was not intending to be that way, but you fight me. Seriously, anyone come fight me. This is a comedy. This is hilarious. This is the stupidest, funniest goddamn thing. Now, it's not my favorite disaster piece. It's not my favorite comedy that was not meant to be a comedy. For me, that title is the Roger Corman Fantastic Four. That is the funniest movie. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that's where you and I differ on this, is because it was like to me, those are like classic bad movies that are like are.
Oh no, this is they're enjoyable. Mark my words, son. This is on its way to Turner Classic Movies of shit. I'm telling you, this movie is amazing.
For me, no. For me, it was infuriating. Where the Roger Corman Fantastic Four is very enjoyable. Like I was thinking about like My Disaster Piece, something that was not intended to be a comedy, but wound up becoming one. I think for me, it's The Room. The Room takes that cake because like that's literally what it was. Whereas this was just like for me, there's several different. I unfortunately I can break this down. There's So Bad They're Good movies. There's movies that piss you off, and then there's evil movies. It's like so you have like The Rooms, your Fantastic Fours, you know, just movies that are bad but like they make you laugh. That's a So Bad It's Good movie, and arguably, depending on like how you feel about it, they're not even really bad movies. It's like the Room The Room is so bad and so incompetent that it comes around and becomes great. It's like there's a couple of movies that do that for me. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, like anything on Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's just like I can't really say that they're bad because they bring me joy. Then you have something that like this where I feel like there's a higher pedigree. Like this is supposed to be a Disney movie. You know, it's like the Transformers films. It's supposed to be something from a beloved franchise. You know, and then they just kind of run it to the ground. It pisses you off. It's like those to me are like legit bad movies that I feel comfortable talking about. And then there's movies I don't feel comfortable talking about, which is like propaganda films or terrorist videos where they murder somebody and shit like that. It's like that's evil movies. It's like define bad. Like we're talking bad as an evil. That's what that is. But that's not fun. That's just like wow, we don't deserve to keep going as a species with shit like this. It's like that's like to me that's like wow, look, Triumph of the Will, it's beautifully shot, but it was used to, you know, convince an entire nation to murder an entire race of people. It's like, yeah, fuck that. I like in terms of like a movie's bad, I like staying in the it disappointed me type territory, which the Resident Evil movies do. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, it sucks, but at least they weren't Nazis, you know, that made this. It's like but it's like at the same time, it's like if it disappoints me and pisses me off, I can't really get any joy out of it. And I couldn't get any really joy out of this one. I think partially because whereas you and Gandalf sat down and smoked for a while until Saruman snapped you out of it. So it's like, Gandalf, get it. Yes, the ring. Whereas you did that in order to deal with this. I had to watch it at work, so I couldn't do that. And on top of that, then I woke up the next morning and finished it, and I, for whatever reason, didn't have a drink. And it hurt me more, like, than when I was at work. Like, at work, at a certain point, I had to take a break. And then when I came back to it, it was like it hurt worse. It was just like, so I was like livid.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Okay, in a way, yes, the leaf helped, but like I said, the first movie hurt me more because the first movie, it kind of falls.
I think we need to talk about the first movie a little. We need to talk about the first movie a little bit.
You know, hold on. We have, and I'm going to continue in a minute doing so. But the first movie, like I said, the first movie hurt me in a similar way that the Resident Evil movies hurt you.
Yeah.
Since Sleeping Beauty is the Disney version is the version that I associate with the whole thing, like more than the ballet itself, where it comes from, or anything else.
Or the classic story, classic French story.
Yeah. So it's a whatchamacallit. It's nostalgia. It's my childhood, and I do realize it's not as good as when I was a kid. Like there's certain things that are still amazing about it, which is why I still love the movie. Like Maleficent, for example, she's the best thing in it. But the three fairies are fantastic as well. The visual style is really good. The singing is good.
Yeah.
I like the comedy between the two deaths. Things like that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't really pay attention to the fact that Prince Philip is boring.
Yeah. He's boring, but he's not that boring. You can still hear me, right? Hello? Hello? Yeah, there's certain visual cues I can tell when this thing's screwing up. Hello? Oh, here we go. Hello. Hello. Hi. Yeah, leave and come back.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, wait, stop! I can hear you now. Say things.
Okay, maybe I just have to...
Yeah, okay. No, this is gonna be fun to edit.
Okay, just hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you good now.
What, where did we leave off?
We were talking about the first movie. I think you were talking a little bit. Like you said, Maleficent is really great in the first movie. Personally, I think Prince Philip is boring, but he's not that boring. He's very kind of classic, like romantic hero charm. And it's like
he's boring.
Here's the thing.
There's not much to
him, but he gets a little bit of action. He gets to kill things.
Yes, but that's not the same thing.
Here's the thing.
Boring,
I think Once Upon a Dream, that song where they fall in love with each other, is one of the most romantic things I've ever seen in my life. I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about that movie. Yeah.
You know what? This is actually how I knew that cut off, because you didn't cut me off, and I kept going on about my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah.
So.
And like you said, the good fairies are awesome. The good fairies kick ass in the first in the original. You know.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. I was trying to say that, for me, the movie, the best parts of the movie are Maleficent and the fairies, the art style, the comedy between the two fathers, and the songs.
Yeah.
But other than that, there are things that don't fully work as well as they did when I was a kid. When I look at it now, I go, because I do sit many times. Try to rank the Disney movies for myself personally. I love the Disney movies.
I think part of the issue
there's a reason why Sleeping Beauty is lower in my personal list than others.
Well, I think
I'm not trying to spite it.
Yeah. I think part of the issue is that a lot of the stuff that's from classic fairy tales that are not heavily altered or adapted much have the problems that the original tales have. It's like classic fairy tales, like it's all about the royalty. It's all about like the pretty people, the rich people being successful. You don't see any commoners. There's a lot of... It was made for simpler time, for simpler audience. Like, Rumpelstiltskin has never made sense to me. Sleeping Beauty on many levels has never made sense to me as a story, and Rumpelstiltskin's never made sense as a story. Whereas, like, stuff where they adapt it properly or kind of update things, like, always tracks better. Beauty and the Beast tracks better. Aladdin tracks better. Little Mermaid, anything from the Disney Renaissance, it usually tracks better because we've kind of modernized it. Whereas, like, Sleeping Beauty was modernized for the time, but still feels very much like a classic fairy tale. So does Cinderella, to some degree. So there's...
I think Sleeping Beauty, the Disney one, was really more... It was adhering to the fairy tale very classically.
Yeah.
In that Disney style.
Right.
That also just happened to fit the time period just fine.
Right.
It's really interesting because yes, you can go back and go, oh, this is, I forget when this movie was made, 50s or 60s, and I want to say the 50s. But it feels very lived in that fairy tale kind of thing. Even the way they talk isn't necessarily, you can't put your finger on going, oh, that sounds like someone from the 50s.
Right.
But it does sound like that magical time period instead. And the music.
Yeah,
it's fantastic because they used the music from the ballet.
Yeah.
In this, and I've seen the ballet, and when I compared it, no, because it's funny. There's certain songs that in the ballet they just don't seem to go together as well as they do in the movie. For example, that whole musical piece where Philip is fighting the dragon Maleficent is in a very different scene in the ballet that is now nowhere near as epic, and yet that music is epic. So it's like, why is it going to something that seems more mundane? I don't understand this. But that's a whole other story. The point is, that's my feelings on Sleeping Beauty leading into the first Maleficent film, because here their job was to shake shit up in a remake. The problem is their shakeups were, they messed with two of the best things in the last film. They messed with Maleficent, making her, their version of Wicked,
right?
Which we didn't need.
We didn't need, and if we wanted that, I would have just saw Wicked. I would have saw like a well-done movie of Wicked, or just the Broadway show of Wicked. Yeah.
Which at this point,
which is fleshed out. Version of that. Here's the thing: Wicked is very fleshed out. I feel like both the novels for Wizard of Oz, the original, the movie for Wizard of Oz, and a lot of the other movies coming from it, and Wicked all stand on their own very, very well. Like the classic Witch of the West. She was just a villain, she was a bad guy, but she's a great villain, she's a fun villain. And then in Wicked, you have, in either the novels or the movies or Return to Oz, stuff like that, they all they get to be bad guys, and they're fun bad guys, and we love them. But in Wicked, you really flesh out this kind of alternate take on the unit where the bad guys are not, where she's kind of this like misunderstood character, and the real bad guys are what you would think are the traditional good guys. They really did a good job fleshing out that version of the story, where you feel for her, you feel for Glenda, and it's like they took the time to tell it and tell it right. Whereas here, it's like they came up with their own original plot in the original Maleficent, and then just tried to cram it up the ass of the original Sleeping Beauty, and that's why it doesn't work. Like, I feel like the first part of the original Maleficent, okay, this is fine for some fantasy story that has nothing to do with Sleeping Beauty, and then they shoved it into Sleeping Beauty. And it doesn't make any fucking sense, and that's like after everything that happened, after having her wings taken, after her being violated, and then you show up and like you're just gonna curse the baby, bitch. You are a powerful fucking sorcerer with an army of monsters. It's like she should have fucking leveled that whole fucking castle, and it's like, this isn't about the fucking baby. This is about revenge. You hurt me. You violated me. I'm going to. She should have, like, nuked the castle with magic. She should have dropped meteorite on this shit. Remember, I'm the D&D boy. I know shit here. She could have gated in a bunch of fucking Ents and tree dragons and fucked everybody up. Oh, all the iron in the world isn't going to save you for what this bitch can do. But no, I'm just going to fuck with your baby who has done nothing. And it really, in their effort to make her sympathetic, I think they made her more of a monster. Because to quote Angel, to quote a Wolfram Hart goon from season 5 of Angel, listen, Maleficent in the original version may have just been evil, but at least, like, she owned it. At least that's what she is. They weren't afraid to make her a bad guy, and she has what this Maleficent lacks, which is clarity. Like that she is. This one's confused, and otherwise comes across worse, because she basically put this curse on this person, and then she feels bad about it, and then it's like, oh, I really love the baby, and there's all this back and forth bullshit. It's like, are you a villain or not? Because if we're going with she's a good guy, that kind of doesn't forgive all the bullshit that she did. It's like you basically cursed this little baby that had nothing to do with what had happened to you, and like went back and forth, and then you bailed out the last minute. At least the original was like, oh, I didn't get invited to a birthday party. Oh, I don't think so. Oh, you're not inviting me? Oh, I'm gonna ruin your whole fucking kingdom. It's not just the baby; it's the kingdom. Is what she fucked over in the original. It's like, and this is, I think it goes into another larger problem, which is, this whole problem I have with doing villain shows is, why can't we just make the bad guys bad? Why can't we just make them bad people? Why can't we just, like, what's wrong with that? It's like, this is, like, because if you're gonna try to bring this thing where you're trying to make them feel sympathy for them, it's not gonna undermine the bad things they do later. I get people like Maleficent, I get people like the Joker, and people like the Sinister Six and all these other characters and whatnot, and Venom, but it's like, at the end of the day, a lot of these characters are still villains. There is nuance to them, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like doing like a Darth Vader standalone movie, which, now that I've said it, it's probably going to happen. You know, at the end of the day, Vader did stand by and let his boss blow up an entire planet and commit genocide. Do you really want to root for a guy like that? And this is my problem with, like, approaching projects like this. And so invariably they make them, sort of kind of good. Okay, and then that undercuts why you make the movie in the first place. So, And then there's just a lot of stupid in that first movie. I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk more about the original movie. If you have more to say, go ahead. I think we do need to get into Mistress of Evil at some point. What do you think? Unless Discord crapped out again. Did Discord crap out again? Hold on. Again, this will be fun to edit. Okay, wait, can you hear me? Alright.
I can hear you.
Alright, did you hear?
I'm hearing you. This is the whole...
Yeah, did you hear... Well, did you hear everything
dude,
I said?
No, Stop talking. I heard everything. It's just that you took my thunder.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, so let me... Hold on, real quick. Everything you basically just said is valid, except for me.
Okay, go.
Okay, everything you said is valid, except for me, the intensity of hatred is cranked up to 11.
Right.
Everything you said. You have to understand something. What I was trying to get at is how much I enjoyed Maleficent and the fairies and all that kind of stuff from the first one, and they ruined those two major elements in creating this story.
Right.
And they did it so horribly well. Like, they really were like, oh, we're gonna fuck these up and claim that you're gonna enjoy this. And no, you're ruining what I love.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That for
like,
me,
in the first Maleficent, like the fairies, they took the fairies, which were the best characters in the original movie, and made them shit.
No, they made them very stupid and incompetent, and they could have killed that child that they were protecting over and over again. And like you said, Maleficent saved it. But see, this is what I'm saying. All those things just made me want to punch. Oh my God! I wanted to just stick my fist into razor blades just to get the pain off. It was horrible.
Yeah.
For me, it was like you watching Resident Evil, because those Resident Evil movies are tarnished, or not only just stupid movies, but they're tarnishing a beloved franchise you love. That's how it was for me with Maleficent. I have a stronger bond with that movie than you do.
Yeah.
Because when I saw that movie, I mean, again,
I really liked that movie though. I was surprised how fucking hot this made me. Like how much. Like I feel like the original movie had good ideas, good fantasy ideas that would have been fine in another movie, but not in.
I hate it. No, I hated everything Maleficent. I mean, I hated everything. I hated the rip-off of this Narnia, Lord of the Rings creatures. I hated every single fucking decision. You said that this could work in a different movie that had nothing to do with Sleeping Beauty. I disagree. I think it is awful. Every idea is awful. But
it would have been a great idea in Lord of the Rings or Narnia.
No, it would have been horrible. This is a crappy campaign. This is a shitty idea, Ed. It's horrible. But they did it, and then they did it to something I personally love. I hated this movie so much. If that's Maleficent 1. So here comes Mistress of All Evil, and I'm going, fuck me. How can they make me hate this more?
I think we switched. I think we switched. You had a better time with this, and meanwhile I was like, for some reason it was like, because I do hate the original Maleficent, but it was like I could kind of forgive it on certain parts, but I still hated it. Let's not go too far on a tangent, but let's just talk about how much the live-action Disney movies suck dick. Like, I think, like, between the two of us, there's only one that we can say is good, which is The Jungle Book. I like Beauty and the Beast, but you don't like Beauty and the Beast, and I agree with every reason why you don't like Beauty and the Beast. It's like...
Yeah, that's a video rant on its own.
That's a video rant on its own.
But it does remind me of, again, Maleficent, because, again... What that movie does wrong, what the Beauty and the Beast remake does wrong, makes me feel like it's butt fucking something I love, and that's what happened with Maleficent too. Right. We're gonna it's different though, because with Maleficent, instead of copy and paste, we're gonna do quote unquote new things. But that's the joke of it all, because it's not really new since it's ripping off something that was already done well with Wicked.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take Wicked, which we can't do, and we're going to use that we're going to rip it off and fuck up this. and call it Maleficent. And never really works, because you know what the best part is in Wicked? The Wicked Witch embraces being bad, even though she really shouldn't be, but they made her break bad.
Yeah.
That's not what happens in Maleficent.
Yeah.
And so it's important.
She's all like, I'm bad. No, you're really good. No, I'm bad. No, you're really good. I guess I'm good.
No, I love this. She's like, oh, I'm so evil. What evil thing does she really do in this movie?
I think there's something that we need to address about the Maleficent movies, which has been on my mind a lot lately, which is, one, these are vanity projects for Disney. Disney's making all this money from Marvel and sort of from Star Wars, at least for The Mandalorian, not from much else. And so it's like they keep on, like, all these live action remakes are basically just a vanity project for Disney. Hey, let's do live action versions of all our movies. Hey, nobody wants that. Well, we're gonna do it anyway, and we got all this money from Infinity War and Endgame, so we're just gonna do it. And it's just like, and it got to a point with Mistress V. Well, Mistress V pissed me off so much. Like, part of where I watch it is I do security at a place in Tampa, which is at a clinic. Where I it got broken into a while back. I can't talk a whole lot about it, but like that's why we're there, and it's right across from a bad neighborhood. And I was thinking while watching this movie, like, they spent all this fucking money. We could have used this money over here in the hood, man. Like, this could have gotten like hundreds of dudes off of drugs. This could have fed tons of kids that are that are food insecure right now. This could have done a bunch of shit, but no. Disney decided to take all that Marvel money and put it into a product that didn't really that didn't really do that well. It's like, yeah, they made some money on it, but not really like what they wanted. And the other thing is, like, this is a vanity project for Angelina Jolie and her giant cheekbones. And I feel like a lot of this movie is this reminds me, I said this to you before we talked about it. This reminds me of many years ago when the Catwoman movie came out, and it was horrible. And your mom does this thing. Starkiller's mom and JP's mom does this thing where we're all talking about movies, and then she just shows up, and she's all like, oh, I like the movie because the main guy's hot. And it's like, she does this thing, it's like, I think she wants to be included in the conversation, but all she really adds to it is like, oh man, Matt Damon was so smexy. And it's all awkward. And I remember when we were talking about Catwoman, she came into the conversation is like, oh, I like the movie. I like the movie because there was this song called Dangerous on it, and I imagine like Catwoman walking around and like looking all sexy and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's how I feel about Maleficent. I feel like this is like, but instead of Halle Berry, you know, walking around it's Angelina Jolie walking around, oh, look at me, I'm Maleficent. Look how awesome I am as Maleficent. I'm so perfect for the role. Look at me and my giant cheekbones. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's just like, look at me, I'm Angelina Jolie. I haven't acted in anything like worth a shit in about 10 years because my life is nothing but tabloids about me and what me and Brad and Jen are doing, because that's what Brad, Jen, and Angelina Jolie are now. They're tabloid fodder. Oh, they said this time, oh, their marriage is fucked up. That's great. Aren't these people fucking actors? Don't they act? Aren't they in movies? And that's why we should care about them. You know what I like about Patrick Stewart? He doesn't get involved in stupid shit like this. Like, I don't fucking I don't give a shit, like, what is tremendous. Like, but no, we gotta focus on these motherfuckers. We've been focusing on these motherfuckers for, like, affair and relationship for the past 20 fucking years, and they have no more value as human beings anymore. And it really fucking bothers me. So it's like, yeah, I think that's something that was really bothering me, and it was really on display when we got into this movie. Do you have anything to add to those points I made, or do we want to just go into Maleficent 2?
No. Vanity project. Yeah, it's a vanity project. I don't care. Again, I think you're absolutely right, though. We flipped, because the movie could not get any lower in pissing me off past the first film. Yeah. So instead, the dumber the movie went,
it came around for you and it became good.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm trying.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say, and I know you hear me, but you're not feeling me.
I can't, because for me it actually because for me it was bad and really bad, but at least it's not Resident Evil bad, and it got Resident Evil bad, Josh. It got bad. It hurt me. It hurt me like Nelia did. It shot me in the face with a coin shotgun. Shot me in the face with a coin shotgun, Josh. It just except it wasn't coins. It was red powder.
You have to understand something. So this movie, picks up some years after. Where I think you did say...
Is it some years after, or is it months? I think it's months after.
No!
Like, how is it years? No, okay, so wait a minute. It's the medieval times, and Aurora and Philip didn't get married in all this time? She just pranced around in the fucking moors. I'm the queen of the fairies. I'm Aurora. It's like, what the fuck?
Stop. Alright, stop. Yeah, she's the queen of the moors, which is the land of where the goddamn fairies... It's Florida. She's the queen of the Everglades.
That's why it hurts so much, Josh.
Okay?
That's why it hurt me so much. It makes sense. Disneyland's down here, the Magic Kingdom. Fuck, Josh, I need a drink.
No, it doesn't. It does make sense. That, by the way, guys, there's
magical creatures down here. What?
Now, listen, there's a magical creature in this movie that I call Groot because it's an Ent, but it really looks more like angry, scarier Groots because Ents are taller and such.
That's the worst part. Those creatures were
here.
Yeah. You there?
So Groot for me. You might think that doesn't exist in Florida, but no, there's a Groot. There's a meth addict that lives in the Everglades, covered in moss.
And whoever shows fear will burn at the man things touch.
The man things touch. That's right.
Well, see, that's another thing that pissed me off, is because those things were originally ripoffs of Ents from Lord of the Rings, and in this one, now it's a ripoff of fucking Groot, and it's just like fuck you, Disney. It's like,
I just call it Groot. I call it Groot, especially because he does something heroic in this film later. I actually mentioned spoilers because you already told at the end of the movie, there's a body count, and I'm like, well, I was going to save that for later, but here we go.
It's the only thing I liked about the movie. There are two things. There are two things I liked about the movie. There are only two things I liked about the movie. No, three things. Three things, because the body count was one. The first thing about the movie I like, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I love this man in anything.
Ejiofor.
Yeah, okay, he played the operative in Serenity, and that was the first seen him in anything, and he was a fucking badass, and I loved him as that. He's great as Baron Mordo, and I felt for him as Baron Mordo, and I felt like, you know what, you're right, no more sorcerers. And then, when I was in the Navy, and I was on my ship, and it was up late one night, and I was in the galley, and I had nothing better to do, and the TV was on, and 12 Years a Slave came on. And he made me cry, Josh. He fucking made me fucking bawl. Thank God no one came into that fucking galley right now, Josh. No one came in. But I saw the whole thing, and it was amazing. He is great in everything he's in. He's a fantastic actor. Everything I've seen him in, he's been awesome in. And he's fucking trying. He has more dialogue than Angelina Jolie. I wonder fucking why. It's almost like one of these is not an actor anymore, and the other one is. It's like, so he's great. The other great thing about the movie is Warwick Davis. Because Warwick Davis is great in everything he's in, because he's fucking Leprechaun. He's Willow, he's Marvin, and he was in Gulliver's Travels and many other great things, and he's fucking Leprechaun, and Leprechaun's fucking metal. The Leprechaun's fucking metal because you took me gold coin! And it's like Leprechaun is great, and Warwick Davis is great. Warwick Davis is also acting. He's also the only one who seems to give a shit. That's it. And then finally, everybody died in the end of the movie, or a bunch of people died in the end of the movie, and those are the only things I liked. That's it. Do you have any? What do you think of that, sir?
Okay, well, a few things, because I can't actually go into what I like about this movie because it's actually a lot. I really like a lot about this movie.
But you like it ironically, right?
Not necessarily. Mostly, yeah. Here's one. There is an actual genuine positive. In my personal opinion, unlike you, I I think the acting actually is very good for most of them. The writing is atrocious, but I can feel what they want me to feel, even if I don't believe it.
Right.
Because of the writing. You understand? Yeah. I think it isn't just Chiwetel Ejiofor who's acting his butt off. I really think it's what's his name? Ed Skrein, who plays the opposing Fae. He said, "This is the thing." Okay, so Ejiofor and Skrein are dark Fae like Maleficent are in this, right, guys? And Ejiofor is the peace-loving one. Like, he wants to make peace with the humans. So
almost like he's like Martin Luther King or Professor Xavier.
So he's Martin Luther King Faye, and Malcolm X Faye is Skrein.
Yeah, looks like Magneto.
Francis, or Ajax from Deadpool. And
Francis.
Yeah, you're cutting me over. But so Francis wants to kill all the humans.
Yeah.
And the operative wants to live with the humans. And
because the alliance
no, let that sink in, because that's what let that sink in, because that's what makes the film better. So what happens is this movie does a terrible job.
Baron Mordo's fine with humans, he's not fine with sorcerers.
Yes. We've seen this cliche. Again, Malcolm X over here, Martin Luther King on the other, or Professor X, Magneto, whatever you want to call him. But the point is, they don't even do a good job of making the Magneto Fae that evil.
No, he's a good guy. He's probably the fourth thing I liked about the movie, because he was, like, kind of cool. He was kind of okay. Can you hear me? Hello? No! No! Stop making me edit! Stop. Ugh, where'd my phone go? Where's my phone? What the fuck? Damn it. Oh no, I've lost my phone. Oh, we're fucked. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright. It's okay, Josh. I'm coming. Coming, Josh. The worst part is like right. I had trouble finding my phone. I'm like, don't worry, Josh, I'm coming, and then I was like phrasing. We're back. There you go. That seems like calling it seems to help. I don't know. All right. But yeah, was that Sam Riley who played that guy, or is that not the actor's name?
Sam Riley.
Yeah, like who's the guy that plays Magneto Dark Fae?
No. I've been saying it the whole time. Ed Skrein is the one who his character's name's Bora, but you'll never remember that.
Right.
You'll never remember that.
He never says his fucking name. He's just Malcolm X Dark Fae.
No, they say it somewhere. I just don't care.
Exactly.
I'm looking at the list, the cast list, and I'm looking at the names going, okay, yes, I do remember this character's name, that character's name, now that I'm looking at it, but I didn't care. I wasn't really
I kind of hate that in movies.
And
when characters aren't properly introduced and they just start showing up and start doing things, and I'm like, and I'm just supposed to know who this person is.
Normally I do hate that. I really do. But in this film, like I said, for me, by the time we meet Ejiofor and Francis, I'm going to keep calling them that, I'm sorry. By the time we see them, the movie had already just bludgeoned me with the stupidest magical sketch comedy version of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner for the first act.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm good. Now, I was smoking a cigar at this point. I was like, oh, movie, this was so dumb. And you touch places I didn't know I had. It's just like so stupid. I laughed out loud, Eddie. It was too stupid.
Yeah.
How did no one figure out who the villain is? I'm sorry, this is not a spoiler. Michelle Pfeiffer is the evil queen, Ingrid, which, by the way, that name sounds evil, Ingrid. Okay, so second, it's so clearly she's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you don't know she's bad, but it's a shock to everyone else. They insist that the characters can't pick up on how evil this character is.
I feel like we have to nostalgia critic this a little bit. I think we need to kind of go by scene, because I have a lot to say.
Really?
Yeah, we do. I think we need to go. I think we need to like fuck spoilers from here on out. Or we already did. Whatever. Fuck whatever.
Yeah,
fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Let's go. All right. So the movie starts out with a bunch of stupid monkeys. I mean humans. Sorry, this movie turns me into Frieza. Like sneaking into the moors to steal shit. And they come in and they grab a hedgehog. No, they didn't grab a hedgehog. No, that's another thing that bothered me. They grab a toadstool person. They find a little toadstool person, they capture him, and then while they're there, they pick up, like Maleficent kills a bunch of people, kills a bunch of them, but the one guy gets back with, like, the mushroom person, and he also steals some weird flower, and he brings it to Warwick Davis's character, and then we don't talk about it again for another, hour. So then a pointless narration happens that we don't need, and then we're cut to Aurora prancing around in the fucking moors, being a queen, and like, I'm the queen of the fairies, I'm the queen of the moors, I'm Aurora, look at me, whoo! And you know, that's what she says. Can you still hear me, right? More than I froze up. Yeah. I think you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. I'm the queen of the fairies.
But that's true. That's true. I'm the queen of the fairies.
Okay. And so this is my first thing, and this was a problem in the previous movie. So I hate the fucking, like, again, this is where I kind of liked the previous movie. It's I kind of liked the visual porn in the previous Maleficent, where look at all these monsters, look at all these things, look at this freaking tree dragon, look at all this cool shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, that looks cool, but like, one, it's obviously scenery porn. It's very obviously, look at all these pretty things. And on top of that, it's like, in that movie, in this movie, none of those creatures ever have any relevance to the storyline. And they don't. They're not characters, they're not lived in. It actually feels less real and less lived in than all the CGI characters that George Lucas did in the prequels. All the shit you want to say about the prequels, you know what? All the shit you want to throw at Dexter Jettster and his diner, it's like, you know, whatever, like, because Obi-Wan sat down and had a conversation with a puppet or with a dude wearing all mocap and had a conversation, and it looked more real and more lived in than that. At least his CGI characters were important to the plot. These characters, in any major storyline or any major talking, has nothing to do with the CGI characters. They don't matter. They might as well not be in the movie. And this was a problem in the previous movie where, like, I could tell, like, those characters didn't matter. But like here, it might as well just be Maleficent and Aurora and Philip talking, and all the human characters talking. Because anytime there's a character that is CGI built, they might as well not exist. It's like they're in a different movie. It almost reminded me of, like, Cool World, when, like, Jack is talking to, like, Kim Basinger, and you have, like, you know, cartoons fucking around in the foreground or the background, like, distracting you from the plot. It's like that. It was like that. They don't. It's scenery porn. It's like, and you know, I know. So Josh over here absolutely adores Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and by adores I mean he fucking hates it, and it puts him to sleep all the time. And I like Star Trek: The Motion Picture because I'm the Mike Salcasa of our dynamic. But like, I'll admit, yeah, that movie is scenery porn, but at least what little story is in there is pretty good. It's a Gene Roddenberry story. It's a simple Gene Roddenberry story, but there's a little neat story there about V'ger and becoming a big robot thing. It's like, it's better than this film. This whole thing was like a Troll in Central Park. Like, all the visuals were just the jingling of your keys to distract your fucking kids. That's all it was. Look at these stupid fucking, like, fat goblin things playing around in the fucking river. Like, yeah, that'll distract your kids for 5 fucking minutes. That'll make an action figure. Look at all the fairies farting around doing all this shit, but they never have any impact on the story, and it's fucking retarded. I hate it. So that's problem one. Then a hedgehog shows up and steals something from Aurora. And now it's going to be important. It's going to be important that there's a fucking Toadstool character and a hedgehog character, because Sonic and Nintendo and Sega? Nintendo and Sega. It happened, you know what I'm talking about. It happened to the end of the movie. Fucking doesn't make any fucking... I don't know. I don't know, Josh. And then that steals some shit, and it steals some shit, and it gets Aurora to run over here and run into Philip, and Philip's like, hello, will you marry me? Because even though, like, I assumed they fucking got married at the end of the previous movie, apparently they've been fucking around for, like, 6 months or even years, according to you, and these fuckers have never gotten married. They've never gotten married. And I'm like, what? I thought they got married and lived happily. Yeah. What? and then apparently Maleficent is not okay with this, and she liked him in the last movie. But apparently she doesn't like him now, and now they have to meet the parents, and you go from here. What do you think?
So, in the film, they do mention it's been some few amount of years, and it's a drop, it's a line.
Yeah.
And I remember running it back. I replayed it and went, wait, what? Because, yeah, when I first saw this, I assumed that the end of the movie was that they happily ever after or whatever. I remember a kiss, I remember a bunch of fairies celebrating. I mistook that for a wedding.
Yeah. She, like, the way she's standing, it's like Maleficent is officiating it.
Yeah, I know, exactly, it looks like a wedding. And really what it's now is that she's giving her blessing for her to be with this guy.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Maybe it was lip service or something, because she clearly didn't like him in the second movie.
Yeah, now she's like, fuck him.
But it's like, yeah, it's more like I tolerate him because I love you so much, Beastie. I love her name for Aurora. But anyway, so it's this nonsense, right? And it's funny as shit too, because I'm going, I mean, it's not just a fairy tale. It's like clearly this is what we want to do, a modern fairy tale, because we don't want to do the whole they meet, fall in love at first sight kind of thing. We've already tweaked that with the first film.
Yeah.
By ripping off Frozen too. Oh fuck me, I hate that movie so much.
I really just hope Frozen is reviled in the next 10. I remember I had a history lecture. What? Sir?
No, let me talk.
Sorry. I have a joke later, but you go. Go ahead.
Because I didn't say that I hated Frozen. I'm saying that they ripped off Frozen and I hate Maleficent. But here's the thing. In that, here in this movie, they're going the route of them actually dating before marriage.
Right.
You know, like normal people do. But that's hilarious, because if they know each other and they've courted for, it's only been like a few years now. I think it's somewhere between 3 to 5 years. Like something like that. But if they courted for this amount of time, it's kind of like, and yet they haven't met the parents, really.
Well, it's stupid too, because it's a stupid modernization, because it's the medieval times. They didn't do that back then. You just got married back then.
Well, I know. That's what makes me laugh, because that wouldn't work in this. In this, but then at the same time, I go, you can make this argument that it's not going to be realistic anyway, because it's a hyper-realized fairy tale bullshit. Well, I mean, it just doesn't quite jive with. It just doesn't jive with old school fairy tales.
Right.
Because when they were written, you understand? Because when they were written, it was modern to them.
Right, exactly. So, if this were like Forgotten Realms or something like that, that's a different fucking story. If this was like a modern fantasy story, it's like, alright, you can be as modern as you want with your swords and your dragons, but it's like, here, it's like, this is straight up like a classic fairy tale set in fucking Europe. What are you doing?
Yes. No. It is and it isn't at the same time, and that was especially even with the first film. It's like we want to reiterate this as a classic European fairy tale, as if it was written then, but also stealing a shitload of elements. Then they also want their cake and eat it too by having so much diversity and inclusion to do it. Now, yes.
Now, actually, I was going to say that for later. Hang on. I was going to say that for later. That didn't bother me too much. That didn't bother to me too much, at least not at first. Like, the fact that there were black people in the human civilization doesn't bother me, because people forget black people were in Europe at the time. The Moors were a thing. The Moors were very much a thing. So, that's okay. Yeah, you know.
I was going to say that. What I'm getting at is, it shouldn't happen. Let's put it this way, because here's the thing. This movie's doing whatever the hell it wants to do.
Right.
Straight up. Okay, by having this diversity. In fact, most of these remakes have diversity in the world they live in. Okay, right. And yes, the history nerd in me could try to break it down and analyze, but that's not really what's happening here. Yeah. No one, at no point are these people creative enough to be like, well, at this century, the Moors were part of civilization in the rest of Europe because, you know, what Spain is where the Moors come from. Blah blah. No, trust. There's no research to this. That's not why they're here. They're just here cause.
Yeah, I think there's some Asian people with the humans too, and it's just like,
there's
okay.
Black people, there are black people and Asian people and God knows what else in here because that's the kind of society we live in today in America, or in England or anywhere else. But that's not. So that's all they're doing.
Yeah. Well, and again, my feeling on that is like, okay, I can kind of like the black people I don't have a problem with because it was like, okay, the Moors were definitely a thing. An Asian person, that's a bit of a stretch because like maybe like a traveling merchant from China or Korea or somewhere made their way down the Silk Roads and, you know, settled in Europe. It's like, okay, but I mean that it's like one of the things that's like it was possible but highly unlikely in that era. But it's like maybe okay, this is a movie. They got there somehow, whatever. And beyond that, it's like I could roll with just the colorblind casting. It's like even if it doesn't really make sense, was this person the best person for the role? Like we're not trying to be douchebags here in terms of like you know, yeah. I mean it's like. You know, I mean, why not? You know, it's like, sure, whoever's the best person in the role, you put them in the character. So it's like, so it doesn't bother me too much. It's like, but it's like at the same time, it's like it is a little like, if you're trying to be historically accurate, it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a so like that didn't bother me too much. I had some issues with some of like the message they were trying to send, or kind of their attempts at progressiveness. And Josh is gone, and Josh is back. Hello. Hi. It happened.
Yeah, I know it did because I was talking uninterrupted. It was beautiful, but I knew it cannot be true.
I was ranting about diversity. It was like I was bringing up Kenneth Branagh's colorblind casting. It's like listen, if it doesn't make historical sense for a person of this ethnicity to be there, but they're the best person for the role, then fuck it, put them as the role. Let's not be racist douchebags. Like whatever, you know.
But that's not what's happening here.
Yeah.
I keep saying this. This is what I was saying when you probably didn't hear me. Is the fact that they're making the world the way the world is right now, and that's fine. I have no problems with this.
Yeah.
But they're doing it to every single one of their movies.
Right.
So at no point should you or anyone really look at this going, well, that's historically inaccurate. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of it matters.
All right.
There's no writer that was.
I want to see a ton of white and black people in the Mulan remake. I don't know. I haven't seen that.
But,
so.
I have. But okay, now that one no, because they mixed in different Asians basically. First off, this is a horror rant, but let's be honest. Most Western movies, when you have Asian characters, like if it's supposed to be set in China, not all of them are actually Chinese. We've casted Koreans and Vietnamese and called them Chinese.
Yeah.
Same thing with Japanese. It's happened, and that happens in Mulan too. Are there actual Chinese people in this Chinese movie? Sure, but not all of them.
Right.
Okay, and no one cares.
You know, speaking of that, I've been watching Quentin Review's iCarly review, and he was talking about I Go to Japan in season 2, where the only person that was actually from Cincinnati had to speak Japanese in the episode. And so the only person that's actually like everybody else in the movie is not from Cincinnati, from Seattle. iCarly set in Seattle, Washington, but like no one in the cast is from Seattle. And the one time they had someone from Seattle, she was like fourth generation Japanese American, and she had to pretend like she was from Japan. So
I wonder where this is going.
Yeah,
I'm so sad.
There was a point. I'm sorry.
There's no point. No, what I'm saying is, no, but if and again, I don't want to keep wasting time on talking about the other ones, but here we are. We're going to bring up a little bit the other Disney movies.
Right.
Because in Cinderella, the remake, there's diversity. In, I mean, the diversity was already there in Maleficent.
Yeah.
There's black people walking around that freaking place.
Yeah.
they didn't really have speaking roles, but it didn't.
Here's the thing: it's like if you wanted to be historically accurate, that's fine. The Moors were a thing, so it's like.
Yeah, like I said, they were a thing, but don't. I think you're giving them too much credit, and you're wasting your brain power on this, because that same thing. I know we're gonna go with this too. Like,
Josh,
it didn't actually bother you.
A broken clock is right twice a day, and gosh darn it, I'm gonna give them credit for that one time that they were right because they're a broken clock.
Yes, but here's the reason why. Because I know this is sidetrack. This is not sidetracking, but I'm going to take something away from you for a little bit. But we did talk about this. You mentioned to me how the diversity within the Dark Fae clan bothered the hell out of you.
Yes.
And see, this is my thing, is that it doesn't matter necessarily.
So
it's like they're going to have them blended out. Like there's no blend. Now, you saw something between how the Dark Fae are being visually portrayed,
right,
and treated, with how the humans who live in the palace, who yes, have a token black man here and there.
Yeah.
Yet they're primarily representing a certain group of folk.
Yeah. So to elaborate, again, the humans have a couple black people walking around here and there, but they're mostly white people. Again, historical accuracy. But like, it's not just that they're white people, they're meant to represent white people. And like a certain villain in this movie, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, seems to represent in many regards white supremacy. Meanwhile, Dark Fae, we establish there's only a handful of them left, but they've scattered all throughout the world and have kind of taken different forms. There's a lot of black dudes who are Dark Fae, obviously Chiwetel Ejiofor. We see some with like rainbow wings, which implied they went to South America. Like there's Asian Dark Fae. It's like basically the Dark Fae are kind of like the diversity clan. They're like they've gone all over the world, and they're all different varieties of them, and different. There's all different types of people who are playing Dark Fae. White people playing Dark Fae, black people playing Dark Fae, Asians, Hispanics, everybody was playing Dark Fae and kind of represented. It was implied they're all over the world and they all have this representation. But the way the Dark Fae are portrayed is the Dark Fae are very tribal. And they have all these kind of ritualized dances. It was one of the better things I liked about it was like they seemed like they kind of went out of their way to do it. Again, this felt like it would be really cool in another fantasy story, just not this movie. Like it felt like a lot of time and effort was put into putting together the prosthesis for this and kind of establishing they have this very unique dress. But it struck me as very tribal, very African. And then it kind of hit me towards the end of the movie where we're all friends now, and it was like, and again, it was like it just felt like again, if the Dark Fae are team diversity, and the humans are team white people, once they're becoming friends, I noticed that the Dark Fae had to do little like ritual dance and like ritual like gestures and things like that, which again it felt like it was like more almost like kind of traditional African stuff, and it just kind of hit me and struck a nerve with me, and I got really really offended. It's like okay, so we're talking about acceptance, and we're talking about tolerance and things like that, and yet the minority team has to do something minority to represent them, and just something just. It was right towards the end of the movie, and I always wanted the movie to end anyway, and just something just really pissed me off. And then, and we had an argument about this, but then later on, Aurora and Philip kiss, and then while they're kissing, let's just call them Mario and Sonic, or no, Toad and Sonic, the mushroom and the hedgehog look at each other, and they kiss each other. And you're under the impression that the hedgehog was female. I never got that impression whatsoever. The toadstool looks like a dude. The hedgehog looked like a dude. We can't tell anyway because they're fantasy creatures. But it was like, oh, okay. So one, Mario and Sonic are friends now. It's like again, there's this weird Nintendo Sega subtest that hurt my head. And second of all,
wait, before you go on with that one, I just want to say, I saw that too. I did make that joke with my friend while we were watching it on Disney+.
It really hurt me, Josh.
It's Sonic and Mario together at last. So
already gotten together.
Yeah, now please say the second thing.
And the second thing was, it's like, oh, remember, this is Disney. That's our gay kiss for the movie. And then I got pissed off again. It's like, oh, okay. Again, we're Disney. Look how progressive and representational we are. We had two characters that might be male make out with each other, but they had to be fucking goofy CGI cartoons. God forbid we have two dudes actually make out. And, say what you will about the live-action Beauty and the Beast, your favorite movie. You know what? I really liked Gay LaFoe. I'm happy Gay LaFoe moved on from Gaston and got a guy at the end, but he never made out with him. They just danced with each other. I'm just saying, Disney's hypocritical. They talk all this shit, and then they don't fucking deliver.
Hey, stop talking for 1 second.
It's like the episode of Next Generation where there's like the androgynous race that Riker falls in love with. It's the same shit all over again. Damn it.
Alright, can I please?
Yes.
I want to elaborate why that makes me hate the boy.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I have a problem with Gay LaFoe. No. In fact, I kind of saw it coming, like even from the animated point. I know the animated one was supposed to be just bumbling at the yes man.
Yeah, he's a sycophant.
You can make fun. Yeah, he's a sycophant. But you could make it go, well, what if he was closeted there?
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, they are French. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That French. So what's our favorite character in The Boys? Frenchie. Just running around kissing men on the mouth. It's Benzai all over again, dude. My name's Benzai, and I'm always kissing guys. I do the Boogaloo flu, doing the dudes. It's called AIDS semantics. Anyway, sorry.
For all you know. Because I forget what year Beauty and the Beast, the fairy tale, whatever, was supposed to exist. Mm-hmm. But it could have been the beginning of progression for France, because they were always ahead of the game.
Right.
when it came to love. So when they announced, because I remember I actually go to sites, I check out coming attractions and things like that about movies. So I already knew excuse me, how dare I mispronounce his name? Joshua Gad. The great Joshua Gad.
Yeah.
How he was going to portray LaFoe, and that he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't care. Like I didn't mean negatively. I mean like, okay, cool, that's fine. Wonder where they'll go with this.
Yeah, see, I don't pay attention to anything, and when that happened, I was pleasantly surprised. It was like, oh, interesting.
No. This is the part. Because what you just displayed a little bit of rage. I want to show you where I doubled down on that rage.
Right.
And the reason was because I don't mind that he was gay. In fact, I thought it was quite clever because I felt like I would have wrote him as gay too.
Yeah.
In a remake. They really wanted to. They wanted you, like if you were reading things, they wanted you to know. He's gay. This is going to be a big thing. They hyped this up, bro.
Yeah.
Themselves. This is proper gay representation. And what did we get? A dance.
Yeah.
That's it. And they don't even kiss, just like you said. The community lost their mind for a little bit, the ones who actually watched that movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, really, Disney? That's patronizing.
Yeah.
And I'm not gay, and I was angry. I was like,
no.
Don't do that. Don't fucking hype this thing up that people genuinely would like to see.
Yeah.
And then you don't carry out.
The more I'm thinking about it, like all my rage on Star Wars and stuff like that. Like let's go back. Let's drag let's drag this corpse up. The more all my rage about Star Wars. You know what they should have fucking done in The Last Jedi? They should have just made Finn and Poe gay. You know what? The more I think about it, yeah, they have really good chemistry together. Fucking have them make out. Do it. It'll be a challenge for both men as actors. Kiss. And and when you're done, say, what a nice tea party.
Hold on. Pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
Is this you coming up with this, or is this you stealing my idea? Because I could have sworn I told you years ago that I thought that they had amazing chemistry since Force Awakens, and that I could see them as the couple of Star Wars.
I think we probably talked about it because I don't think we were the only person talking, but the internet was aflutter with those two being gay.
No, they were, but they weren't wrong though. I know how fan bases can get a little crazy and just start shipping anyone because shipping be fun.
Right.
But that particular one was like, how could you not though? I think even people who don't like shipping would ship them. Because the chemistry between those actors was really good, and it was fun, and it was like, it's either things. Either they were going to become next best, the great best friends of Star Wars.
Right.
Freaking like John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell or something.
Yeah, they're like in the TIE Fighter together. It's like, did we just become best friends? We became just friends.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what happened. I was like, this is dope. So it's either we do that and keep going with it, which is fine, or we go another route. And and again, the chemistry was there. I was like, I would totally accept and buy Poe and Finn over any other thing they ever attempted. The entire episodes 7, 8, or 9.
That's your plot right there. Fuck Reylo, man, dude. It should be. It should be Poe. It should be Poe. It's Finn and Poe, or Pin. It should be Pin.
I remember
which is what Poe has to do to Finn in order to get in that ass.
It kills me because it's like, I totally would have bought that over Reylo or whatever the hell Reylo. That was dumb.
Yeah.
That relationship didn't make sense to me at all. Like, I get the wanting to help one over the other or make a connection to bring into their ideology. Mm-hmm. But as far as like sexual tension or romance, no, I didn't feel that at all. But
I mean,
I know I'm wrong.
You know what Reylo should have been. The vibe it should have been. It should have been like the kind of relationship and like the kind of sexual tension between Chung-Li and M. Bison. I murdered your father. Now I'm going to rape you. It's like that's the tension. It's like okay, that's a hentai at best, a horrible, uncomfortable rape scene at worst. It's like,
well, you're not wrong. There will be tension.
Oh yeah.
Maybe tension. I admit that.
Oh yeah. You don't want him wanting to show you the power of psycho power. You don't want him to use the Psycho Crusher on you or his scissor kick nightmare. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Meanwhile, okay, we went off topic, but this was your thing.
Let's talk about Street Fighter instead of this movie.
Hold on, let's just to remind people, if you're still with us, God bless you. But if you're still with us, Dreadpirate over here was saying that to him, the mushroom person and the hedgehog person, were supposed to be Disney gay representation.
Right.
I personally don't see it because I watched this thing with closed captions and I could have sworn and mentioned that one was female, one was male.
Well, I didn't have closed captions, sir. Nor did I have your halfling leaf, your halfling pipe. I didn't have that. All I had was my kingdom falling apart. The ring? The ring could save it, could unite all of Rohan. Just give it to me. Give it to me, Frodo Baggins.
Shut up. You know what I was gonna say?
Yeah.
I forgot for a minute, but now I remembered again. There's a joke. So Dreadpirate and I are best friends. For those who don't know, we've known each other for many years. But we've had other friends look at us and think that we are gay.
Yes.
And we're joking that we're hobbit gay for each other.
Yes.
Like Sam and Frodo.
Frodo couldn't have gotten over without his Sam. That's pretty much. We're that kind of gay.
And that's the kind that is supposed to be like. The thing is, we're very good friends, and we'll do anything for each other. We'll help each other out. We'll snap each other out of a depression or whatever. Very much like the friendship, the beautiful friendship between Sam and Frodo. That somehow on screen just gave off a different, very prideful vibe. And I'm okay with this, but I'm just saying that a lot of people saw it and they started making fun of us with it. But and that's fine, by the way. But I joke now that because that's the old one, if they went along with it, I think you and I would be Poe and Finn gay.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. At bare minimum, Poe and Finn should have been like Kirk and Spock. You will always and forever shall be. I will always forever and forever shall be your friend. Like the point where
my friends. Yes.
Yeah, they're that the deep close friendship to the point where it's like they could have gone gay. It's like, and I feel like, and again, and Gene Roddenberry went on record stating if he could have made them gay back in the '60s, he would have. They wouldn't let him. It's like, but it was like, so everybody that's like, oh, Kirk's gay now. Gene said it. Gene fucking said it. So whatever. So. And
I don't know.
And I will always and forever shall be your friend too, my friend. So, super gay affection for another man. Yay. So. Yeah. The other joke we do with this is that we're not Hobbit gay, we're Roman gay, which is we're dignified. We're dignified and classy about it. It's like, yes, look at our empire, Joshua. Yes, we occasionally fist each other in the butthole at the vomitorium in the orgy. Ah, look at our new friend, a noble senator, Biggest Dickus. Ha ha! And he thrusts out his dick. Good to see you, Biggest Dickus. Let us go to Emperor Fabulous's party. And Fabulous the Second. And really interesting guy. So I stole 2 comedians' jokes there. Monty Python and Eddie Izzard. So my jokes were so bad it made Josh drop the call. No. My jokes were so bad you left the call. My jokes were so bad they killed the call again.
It sure did. Well, I think the Roman gay thing is funny, or funnier than Hobbit gay. I still think we're Hobbit gay because it's more like a really powerful friendship that no one understands.
Exactly.
Where are we? What are we talking?
This is what Maleficent did to us. All right, we're barely out of the beginning of the movie. Okay, so then they have to tell the parents. So they have to tell Maleficent. Again, Maleficent seems to hate Philip for no good reason. She's all bitchy. I think Angelina Jolie sends like 10 words the entire movie. She's barely in her own fucking movie. The entire middle half of the movie, bitch don't do nothing. She just stands around and has Chiwetel Ejiofor and Francis tell her shit. And she looks at them with her big giant cheekbones. I think she she doesn't fucking do anything the whole movie. So they gotta go to dinner. They gotta go to dinner to Philip's house, and Philip's mom is evil. And let's talk about it. I want you to take control of the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner scene. You take charge here.
Oh, that's so bad. It's so bad. It's like I was saying before. You can't. Body language, Queen's her whole demeanor. I even think her name is freaking evil. But even her theme music, like the whole presentation, clearly she's bad. Yeah. They don't care that the audience knows she's bad. We get to see her talk with Warwick Davis, who is like some fey creature or something that she's got.
Can we talk about that real quick, because that's another thing that pisses me off about this movie, which is that they establish in this movie that every single fucking fantasy creature in that stupid fucking moor is a fairy, and that pisses me off. Because it's very clear those giant tree fucking monsters are not fairies. They're Ents.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what that tree dragon thing was, but it's not a fucking fairy. The sprites, and stuff like that popping out and things like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. But like the fucking like those goblins that are in the river all the fucking time, that's not a fairy. Like there's like kind of weird. They're all different types of fantasy creatures in there. They can't all be fucking fairies. They basically say no, they're all fairies. They just hand wave, they're all fairies, and I'm like, fuck you. And by the way, this fucking series is obsessed with the old myth that fairies are vulnerable to iron. It is obsessed with it, and it bothers me because it makes me think that someone played D&D on the production of these two fucking films. Because like established in the first movie, cold iron hurts fairies, and it's like I know, yeah, fae have damage reduction 10/cold iron. I'm well aware. I played 3.5.
This is again.
It's like
this is again.
Yeah.
No, Paul. Another example of where we were reversed, because you heard it's really weird. It's like you watched the movie, but it kind of just went through you.
Right.
Because things like the iron, pissed me off in the first film more because it was the first introduction of this stupid thing.
Yeah, because that was never that was never in the original Disney movie, and as far as I know, it was never in the original story to begin with. That's an obscure thing that that fairies are vulnerable to them.
No. The iron, it's mixing things.
Right.
Remember, this fairy tale, the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale, is based in France.
Right.
The iron that hurts fae or magical creatures is more Celtic, more Gaelic. It's an Irish kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like, it's different. Yes, Europe, but it's different, people. And they're blending them together because they want to give her a kryptonite or whatever. Right. But they did this nonsense in the first film multiple times, and it hurt me like the iron hurt her multiple times.
Yeah. When that was never established.
When we get to movie 2, like I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we get to movie 2, I don't care anymore because you're numb to the pain, dude. You have burned, you have diffused 1,500 cigarettes on my body. What's 1,500 more?
Exactly.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened to you. What happened to you is that, again, you saw Maleficent, the first film, and it went right through you like flatulence.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that happened. Woo, that stink.
Yeah.
Move on. Put some spray. It left a bad smell, but you spray the Febreze, you're good.
Yeah, because
this movie,
if you recall,
paid attention.
Yeah.
Actually paid attention. That's what I think happened, bro. I think you finally listened and watched and realized that's not bad, terrible. Why? It's that kind of thing.
I think what happened was if you recall, when I watched Maleficent the first time, it was on my birthday, and I was watching a bunch of movies just for my birthday. I saw Maleficent first, and it was bad. But then I watched a bunch of other things that kind of washed the taste out of my mouth. I watched Expendables 3. I watched The Giver, and I think I watched Divergent for the first time. And say what you will about all three of those films, I liked them, and they were all better than Maleficent. So it's like, I kind of washed the taste of it out of my mouth. I think that was the issue. Where it was like I didn't have to dwell on it. Whereas here, it was like, I couldn't escape. And it was just like, wow, they're really doubling down on this shit. And it pisses me off because, in the original myth, she's not vulnerable to this. In the original movie, she's not in this. And nothing else Maleficent is in, because Maleficent is a popular character prior to this bullshit happening. No, in Kingdom Hearts, she's not vulnerable to iron. She's vulnerable to giant key, and that's it. And that's because everything is vulnerable to giant key in those fucking games. It's like it's nothing special. Just everybody's vulnerable to giant key, giant magic key.
What if it's retconned that those keys are forged from iron?
They're not. They're fucking magical constructs that pop out of fucking Sora's hand. That pop into iron. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a giant magic key.
You still said iron. You could have completely avoided it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
In the first movie, in the first movie, Philip kills her with a sword. What's the sword made of? Iron. Ah! You know why it killed her? Because it was a fucking sword. Doesn't matter what it was made of. Could have made it. It could have been made of dildos if it was sharp enough. It would have killed her.
Hold on. It was an iron. No, excuse me. See, look what you did. Now I'm thinking it was fucking iron. No, it was a simple sword that was enchanted by the three fairies that kills her.
Why couldn't we done something like that?
Because they wanted to make sure. If you remember the movie, they go, guide Philip's sword and strike true. They made sure that sword fucked her up. I don't know what spell, enchantment level, what they cast.
Oh, they cast magic weapons. It's a very basic D&D spell. I know I'm taking reference to D&D. I don't fucking care because someone this fucking series needs a goddamn dungeon master. It needs a hardcore dungeon master. It needs you when you're mad at me for calling you after school. That's what it needs.
The point I'm trying to say is that those fairies knew what they needed to do. They used Philip as their gun to kill this bitch. They were like, no, this hoe has to go. Yeah. So we are gonna nat 20 this whole thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's rolling under 20. You hear me? You hear me, Meriwether? What? No, listen to me, Blue Fairy. We're rolling 20s. I don't know if you're gonna roll 20. That's what happened. They all rolled 20s.
I'm now just picturing. I'm picturing the cast of Critical Role playing the fairies. I'm picturing like Matthew Mercer and like Laura Bailey and Scanlon, Sam Riley playing the fairies. Mayweather. It's like you're rolling a 20.
We're rolling 20s.
And it was just like I don't know, guys. I don't know. And then like Laura's like, oh, nat 20. All right. Alright, you enchant the sword. You shove it up Maleficent's ass. You've slain the dragon.
So Sam Riley plays Critical Role. Is this correct?
He's Scanlan. I believe, like, I might be butchering his name. Oh, God. Did I? I think I might have ditched his name. Hold on. You still hear me, right?
I'm here.
I might be butchering this character's name. This guy's name. He's like my favorite person. I just called him Scanlan because that's who he plays. Let me double check. Let me double check. He's like my favorite guy, but I don't like. I keep spacing out. I keep doing this. I'm getting old, Josh. I keep on like fucking up actors I love's names. Critical Role.
Maybe that's not him.
Yeah, I feel like I fucked this up. Okay. Ending composers, country. Okay. Cast and characters. Maine. Ashley Johnson, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, Liam O'Brien, Taliesin Jaffe, Marisha Ray. Sam Riegel! Excuse me, Sam Riegel. Yes. Sam Riegel. It's not Sam Riley, it's Sam Riegel. Like, I'm sorry, Sam Riegel. I love you. You're one of my favorite people in Critical Role. I butchered your name. Sorry. I will walk through Tampa completely naked while people shout shame at me, because that's what I deserve to do. Shame. 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 Can you hear me? I'm being shamed. I'm being shamed. I deserve this. Shame. 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 I'm calling Josh now. There's Josh. Shame. 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 Oh no. Oh no. Josh. I can see.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. I don't know why calling seems to fix it. Okay, no, it's Sam Riegel. Sam Riegel is the guy in Critical Role. You know who Sam Riegel is?
I was gonna say Sam Riegel, but yeah, I looked it up already.
I know it was
no,
Sam something. It was Sam something.
Sam.
I'm so sorry, Sam Riegel. You're my favorite. You really are my favorite guy in Critical Role. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna.
No, it's.
I deserve to be spanked.
No, listen to me.
Yeah.
Oh God. No, listen to me. It's funny you made that mistake because there is a Sam Riley who is in this movie.
He's in the movie. There. The movie's fault. It's the movie's fault.
No. Yeah. No. There is there's two different actors. There is Sam Riley. Sam Riley is Diabol, which I can't stand him, by the way.
He's Francis.
So. No. You don't even remember who Diabol is. Diabol's the goddamn raven that gets turned into a human.
Oh, I don't care about him. No. That's the worst. That's the worst part. I think he's a good actor. I completely blocked him out of this movie. Like, he was doing things, but I kept on like my brain shut down every time he did stuff. It's like when he's like stealthing around and trying to like be sneaky to help things out. My brain just flatlined. It just was blue screen of death. It just like he just like my brain was trying to make him not exist. Like, because I kind of hated him in the previous movie anyway, because I hate this whole stupid let's turn the Raven human thing, and I hate the fact that he's the fucking dragon instead of her being the dragon, because I don't know, stupid artistic choice that they decided to make. That's one of my problems with like these movies in general is, like, Maleficent doesn't just suck in terms of her characterization. Like, even if you want to munchkin her, if you want to talk about, like, if you want a power scaler, she sucks compared to the classic Maleficent. Classic Maleficent was like voiced by a much better actress, like, you know, the lady that played Lady Tremaine. She has the powers of hell at her disposal. She's raw magic that like just commands respect, and she can shapeshift into a bunch of shit, including a fucking dragon. This Maleficent can't do that. This Maleficent's vulnerable to cold iron. Oh no, she's like, which again,
but
yeah, you know, like it took a magic fucking sword, a magic enchanted sword, in order to beat her the last time, or a fucking Keyblade in the fucking video games. In this one, all you need is some iron. You can just throw it on her and she'll die. Like, she's significantly weaker.
But let us not forget that by the second act of the film, once we get to the end of the second act, apparently there's when she. Actually, no, here, let's get through this.
Yeah, let's talk about the dinner. Let's talk about the dinner and the elf and all the other little nuggets.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to get through this because you want to go through scene by scene, and I'm just thinking why. But
there's just so much we have to talk about.
We've jumped around quite a bit. But what happens is the dinner is nonsense where you have the good king who legitimately is happy for his son to get married. The queen doesn't really care. She uses it as a means of end. She wants Maleficent there to try to blame her for something. Turned out is putting the curse on her husband. She actually gets the needle off the spinning wheel.
No, let's hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. Let's not fucking, yeah, that's one of the biggest problems I have with this movie. Let's not fucking like glance over that. So they have this really fucking awkward, stupid dinner. Again, Angelina Jolie about says like 3 words during the whole thing. She has a fucking cat that runs around that's acting stupid and annoying for no good reason, and meanwhile she's like snipping at her the entire time. Like the queen is constantly like trying to throw shade at each other. It's like, I don't care. And then the cat like is annoying and jumps at her, and she telekinetically holds the cat and is like, "You will contain your animal." And she starts like, yeah, like Maleficent immediately just like can't contain herself or contain her shit or behave herself in any environment. Once again, proving that she's a terrible character and an asshole. Another reason I don't like her. And then after a few more insults, she just starts shockwaving everybody. She starts like throwing down like energy blasts and telekinetically knocking bitches over. She acts like a total fucking asshole. Like,
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. The whole thing is that there's a lot of what I'm trying to get at is the queen had taken the needle first.
Okay. Hold on. When she starts bitch slapping everybody, no, because we don't find out that that's the needle till later.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. I didn't.
Yes.
I know she stabbed her with something.
No, dude, I swear. No, she. The fucking needle before the dinner starts. You actually see the scene.
It wasn't clear to me that it wasn't clear that was the needle, and the needle doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because you were too fucking angry to pay attention. Okay, I'm telling you.
Touche.
What happens is that before, like I said, there's a bunch of scenes before the show. Like we have moments where, Philip's back. Did she say yes? Is Maleficent coming? Oh, yes. There's that bullshit. Then there's the whole, you need to cover your horns, and Maleficent says, I will never cover my horns. And all that nonsense.
I hated the cover the horns fucking subplot. I hated that subplot so much.
This is all preamble to the dinner, and one of the parts of it, besides her visiting Warwick Davis, is also she just so happens to have the fucking spinning wheel, which should have been destroyed, but the head's here, and she takes the needle off and tucks it away. So then there's the dinner bitching and moaning that you're talking about, which I thought was hilarious because this is so stupid. This is Shrek 2 for Christ's sake, which also copied Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
And is also a better movie. Oh, by the way, Guess Who's Talking to Dinner? Guess Who's Talking to Dinner? Who's Coming to Dinner is a great play and a great movie and better than this shit. Ah!
It is. I'm not saying it isn't.
I just thought we should reiterate it because it makes me feel better.
But I've been saying that this is why I died laughing with this movie, because it's doing these things, these cliches, and still ruining them. Like with Shrek did the cliches, and it could have been boring, but it wasn't, because I think they did a nice spin on the cliche that actually made it funny for kids. Yeah, Shrek and blah blah blah. I love Shrek too, by the way.
Yeah, Shrek 2's great.
Okay.
Oh, like Jennifer Saunders was the evil queen in Shrek 2. I love Jennifer Saunders. She's absolutely fabulous. And French and Saunders. She's awesome.
She's a fairy godmother. There's no evil queen.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, we're doing a cliche that's been done to death. I mean, they made a remake of that movie that wasn't Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It wasn't as good as the original. But the point is, we know this, and instead they still find ways to f up these cliches. They still find ways to just say, I don't know, because it's such BS where Maleficent has no tolerance.
Right.
She has no patience.
No self-control. It's like she's not a good person.
No self-control.
Yeah. You made me think of a Laura Branigan song. I live among the creatures of the night. I haven't got the will to try and fight. Josh got cut off on the call, and he is talking and can't hear me, and it's gonna be a thing, so I better call him so he knows that something is going on. Discord will probably work things out now, and he'll be all like, what the fuck, and stuff. Josh just said he can't talk now. He's in the middle of a podcast. I've been singing Laura Branigan this entire time. I know. This is why I hate Discord. This happens all the time when we play D&D. It's worse with Porter because Porter's on a fucking ship. So like every 5 minutes, like you're trying to like, okay, what do you do? And he has to drop and come back in. It's a pain in the ass. That's why, like when Facebook was working, I preferred it. But it's like now, I don't know. I think it's the weather. Decide like, fuck you. Fuck you! You have this rage for this movie, and no. No, this is fine. No, dude, this is brilliant. This is all staying in. It's all staying in this. I know. Well, yeah. Do we... I do want to chop it down the side. Yeah, how long, much longer, well, how much longer can you talk? Okay. You want to cut that in half, like maybe 5:30? Yeah, like, okay, alright, so like, okay, so let's try to like focus and like, you know, not try to get in too many tangents, because there's something, I feel like because that's like the needle is one of the things that bothers me the most about the movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want me to just like rant for like a good 10 to 15 minutes and then you make fun of me? Okay. All right, let's do this. I need you to leave the call and come back in and we'll do it. All right, and we'll try to like be done by 5:30 or sooner, and we should be good to go. All right, say things. Yay! Okay, we're good. All right. Okay, so they caught half that conversation. Unless I choose to edit it, we'll figure that out. All right, so I'm just gonna rant and like get all this out, and then you're gonna jump in every now and then, or like do when I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's do this.
Tell me.
Let's go.
Give me cues that you're ready for mine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because I thought we were gonna like rant back and we're like dueling rants, but it's like if you're running out of time, yeah, we gotta hurry this up. Yeah. Sorry. And again, you know, part of it's the technical problems, but we'll figure it out. All right. So this shitty movie. Okay. So all right. So yeah, she can't control herself, and she's acting like she's very like part of the problem is like. They're confused. They don't know whether she's a good guy or a bad guy. And at the end of the day, I think she comes across as worse because, she's supposed to be a good guy, but she has no level of self-control. She has no level of actually containing herself. So she starts genuinely bitch-slapping people and acting like an asshole, which means, okay, she needs to get stabbed. And speaking of stabbing, the problem I had with the spinning wheel is, as you pointed out, I wasn't paying attention. Or even, like, no, I thought it might have been, like, something like that, but it was, like, it didn't make any sense. Like basically, like, the queen runs behind the king and says, "Oh no, she's dangerous, hide me," and very clearly stabs him with something. I wasn't sure what, but then he falls in. Oh, she's put a curse on him, and it was like, you know, it wasn't clear that was the spinning wheel. I knew, okay, she like poisoned him, or maybe she's a caster too, and she put a spell on him, or some bullshit like that. Yeah, I wasn't clear until later that it was the fucking spinning wheel, which is fucking retarded, because the curse wasn't on the fucking spinning wheel. The curse was on Aurora. Okay? The curse was that you will prick your hand on the spinning wheel, and you will fall asleep forever or die or whatever. And so, like, apparently, like, oh, because of that, it's in the fucking, like, spinning wheel now, and in the blade of the spinning wheel, and so you can, like, put that curse on anybody now. That's fucking retarded. And it's like, maybe if this were an Asian horror story or something like that, like, a horrible act, like was committed with this, and as a result, an evil still lingers. The taint of evil is still upon it. But even then, you need something really fucked up, like for something even like that, you need like the spinning wheel to be made of the bones of children or something like that, or it was, or like the metal was used to decapitate a bunch of innocent women that the emperor wanted dead or something like that. You need something really fucked up to happen for like it to warrant the level of darkness or power that would even work. Like even in a fantasy setting, that doesn't quite track. And it doesn't make sense in terms of a logical standpoint, because it's like, no, the stupid curse was on a person, it wasn't on that. So then she blames her for this. Maleficent has to leave because she acted like an idiot, and now they're framing her for hurting the king. So then she runs upstairs, and there's this elven woman. She's not really an elf. There's this redheaded lady who's like an actress I probably should recognize, who is running around, and she is... She's like the toady of Michelle Pfeiffer. So she's flying, like Maleficent's flying away. The redhead lady runs up to the top of the roof and tries to shoot her with what looks like a crossbow. But it's not a crossbow, because it shoots a ball bearing. It shoots a little tiny bullet made of iron. And that hits Maleficent, and she gets hit, and she falls into the water, and then Chiwetel shows up and grabs her and rescues her. And I'm like, but wait a minute, that doesn't make any fucking sense, because it's like, it looks like a crossbow, but it's shooting a bullet. So is this like a bow gun or something like that? And even if that's the case, a bow gun would shoot like arrows. It's like it literally used like the coil, the strap of a crossbow to launch the pellet. And it's like, okay, then why don't you just establish that guns are a thing right now? We had guns in the medieval times. That's why we stopped using armor. We had rifles and blunderbusters, and that would make more sense if you're going to use an iron bullet. If that's the issue, just make the tip of the fucking arrow iron. It's like you don't have to like... As long as the thing that goes into her and does the damage is iron, an iron bullet is not going to go. That's why we have guns. It's like, all it's going to do, if you put it on a crossbow, is the strap's going to knock it down. And like, boom, and you did nothing. So that's retarded. So then she gets carried away by Chiwetel, and we covered a lot of this already. But needless to say, when she goes to hang out with the Dark Fae, like, she does absolutely nothing. She doesn't fucking talk. She basically just has people talk to her and explain them. And like, at this point, it feels like it becomes a different movie. Because, it's become this weird fantasy movie now where we're gonna talk about the Dark Fae, and they're all a bunch of these fucking fairies that look just like Maleficent, yet all are significantly less powerful than her, because none of them, they can cast a little bit of magic, like they can summon trees and bullshit, but they can't, like, do all the bullshit she can do, because I think she actually is like an actual wizard. She actually studied to do all her bullshit. And it's like, and they... Yeah. You wanna go now?
Well, all I'm going to say is that that's not actually... She didn't study shit.
She didn't study shit. Well, maybe she's a sorceress or something like that, but it's like... Again, it feels like someone played D&D on this and didn't bother to explain these things. Because, like, sorcerers in D&D, the whole... What?
What it is... And this actually, I will say this, the second part of this film did give me a lot more anger than the first half, and I should say the first part and the third. Because a lot of it's moping and doping, a lot of them being in this cage story time, a lot of it's us seeing the Evil Queen enact her plots and start to build munitions to destroy the Fae and all this other stuff. It's just set up, right? Basically, war is coming.
Right.
And in that moment, they do mention about how their magic is dwindling. They have some, but it's not as much, and she's special. But she's special because she's... And get ready to hear me scream. So she's special because they believe that she's like descended of the greatest Fae they ever had, which was the Phoenix.
Yeah, they set up this Chekhov's gun at this point.
Is not the Phoenix, the animal people, is not a fucking Fae.
Yeah, it's not. No, the Phoenix comes from Greek mythology. It's got nothing to fucking do with the Fae. The Fae is like all again. You're about all English Gaul type shit. Yeah.
But hold on, get ready, folks. Mm-hmm. So not only is it in this world, it's Fae, but it's fucking massive.
Yeah.
It's not even red. Typically, a phoenix is a red-colored bird with some other.
Oh, because it's her, so it has to be black. Remember? You know, that's how her stupid magic works.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah, it's black. But if you paid attention to the mural of that phoenix, it doesn't just look like a black bird. It looks like a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
With a bird's face. Like the dragon she's supposed to fucking be. Oh,
yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Well, even then, like, okay, this is something that bothered me from the first movie. The fact that she turned her stupid crow into a fucking, like, dragon. When it's, like, which, and he always has, like, bird-like elements. When it's, like, really, in the frickin', like, original, she was just a black dragon. She was just a black dragon. That's what a black dragon looks like. It's not even really had all that many bird elements. It's like, you can shapeshift all the way. You don't have to have little bird elements to you. You know, it's like, so, yeah, like, they...
But it's...
Yeah.
But that's the thing, too, because I guess they wanted to tie into the fact that these creatures have bird-like wings. So that the phoenix, their version of it, has, you know, again, it looks like a body of a dragon with huge bird wings, covered in black feathers, bird face, but then it has the horns just like Maleficent has those horns and everybody else has those stupid horns. And I'm like, so what? Her goddamn feathers come from this bitch's feathers? Is that what the shit? So apparently she's the Kwisatz Haderach because of this Phoenix bullshit. And this drove me nuts because not only they ruined the legend of the Phoenix, the mythology of that, and tied it into this, but you know what it made me think of?
What made me think of?
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, then that will make anybody.
It reminded me of that stupid movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're gonna take yet another good story and take the story of and have a bland character become the really powerful person, but not really make you feel it.
Yeah.
When in the comics this was a tragedy.
Yeah.
This was. You felt every character's pain about the torment that Genius wrestled good and evil in this economy and we're your friends and this and all this stuff. And it's reduced to shit.
Yeah, and this one when Jennifer Lawrence gets impaled, I'm like, yay!
And this one, what this movie did was it reminded me of yet again taking that same trope. Using the same name, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Reminding me of that shit show on top of this shit show. That was like, damn it, I don't want to think of another shitty movie while I'm dealing with this shitty movie.
Right.
Where's my rum?
And it has nothing to do. Yeah. And it has it's got nothing to do with the original story. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's just like, oh, by the way, we're descendants of phoenixes. It's like, yeah, that's bullshit. It's like, so I think we covered a lot of the stuff. Yeah. What's that?
How does that help them too? It doesn't.
Oh, it basically makes it so that at the end of the movie we can have Maleficent heroically sacrifice herself, and I can be happy for exactly 30 seconds because Maleficent does fucking die in this movie. But then she comes back to life, so it's like, oh yeah, she can't die now, and it's just like just to make me angry again. That's why we did that. That's why we did that. Which you know, by the way, as a dungeon master, I could totally kill Maleficent. I could totally kill her. Malmoto mentioned this. It's like, we don't have to kill her. We can just keep her alive. And I mentioned, it's like, yeah, but you know, if we had to, anti-magic field. None of your bullshit works now. None of your magic works. None of your resurrection works. No, we just kill you in this anti-magic field and keep your body here and, like, maybe cut you into little pieces and, like, bury you. Yeah, no, you're not coming back now. It's just like, I went full Michael Bluth can push over maybe. Michael Bluth can push over, John Michael's girlfriend. It's like, oh, dude, you can't push her over, man. She's got like a low center. Oh, I can push her over. I can push her over. It's like I went full on that. It was like, so that was the reason for that. So this part of the movie is really, really boring. The only really relevant thing is we discovered that the flowers at the beginning of the movie that was stolen are actually flowers that grow whenever a fairy dies, and like over their graves these things appear. And Warwick Davis figures out he can take the petals from that to make, like, super iron that really kills fairies. And he murders a fairy, a little sprite, at the behest of Michelle Pfeiffer. He's a murderer now. His character's a murderer now. Whatever. A lot of nothing happens in this movie. It's just things are explained to Angelina Jolie, and she does nothing. There's one scene where, again, they're having this weird tribal dance, and Chiwetel Ejiofor's like looking at her like, hey, you down to fuck? And she kind of looks back at him like, oh, I don't know. I'm too busy being bland in this movie. I'm just letting you know. I'm down to fuck. And I'm like, okay, cool. Go, have a romance. Go ahead. Chiwetel and Angelina Jolie, like, have a romance of some kind. Go ahead. Give me something, movie. Give me some shipping. Give me some fucking shipping. But no, we can't have that. We can't have anything interesting happen. So then all the humans go and steal all the flowers from the graves. And Maleficent can somehow sense this because she's the Kwisatz Haderach. She is the legendary Super Saiyan. She just can. So she flies over there, and they try to kill her. And Francis shows up. And Francis starts kicking everybody's ass. And then she's right against the shot with iron, and Chiwetel gets shot in the back. And he starts dying. And then she mourns him, and she doesn't say anything as he's dying. And then he gives her some kind of weird energy. So she's the Phoenix now, and it's retarded. So, like, yeah, let's hurry this up, because you gotta go. And I hate this movie, and I want to get to the part, like, the only part of the movie I like. So then, one more thing, I forgot. So meanwhile, Michelle Pfeiffer's trying to civilize Aurora and do all these stupid fucking scenes. Another thing that bothers me is, much like how the fairies have no purpose and are just CGI abominations with no character, the humans are equally bad. Because most of the human characters in this are extras. They're extras with no lines of dialogue that are only meant to hold dresses and play trumpets and be servants, which, again, is very accurate to the fairy tale. The common people don't matter. But, if you're going to be all progressive and shit, like Disney's trying to do or claiming they're trying to do, you'd think there might be a servant girl with an opinion or something like that. You might as well, go balls deep if you're going to do that. And again, once again, I hope they paid these fucking, extras. I hope they gave them some good fucking money, because there's a lot of money spent on this bullshit, which, again, could have gone to the hood and helped out some people. But the wedding's happening, and there's a scene where, she doesn't feel right about what's going on, and it's like, oh, Miss Maleficent was misunderstood. Philip, I never should have made her wear that scarf. And I got really pissed off, because at that point, this whole thing felt like a goddamn fan fiction, because I noticed, and I don't want to get canceled right now, but it's probably going to happen. I've noticed a trend in bad fan fiction, especially, I'm going to be honest, fan fiction written by women. This is not uniquely a woman problem. Guys do this too, but it's like I've noticed a lot of what comes to my head is My Immortal by Tara Gillespie. Is like an overfocus in bad fan films, and Josh is gone, and Josh has left. No, fuck. Josh is back. Josh is back.
Josh.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hurry this up. I've noticed a tendency in bad fan fictions where one thing that people do when they have a really bad Mary Sue character is they focus way too much on what the character looks like and clothing, which is what this scene reminded me of. Oh, you need to hide your horns. We need to wear a scarf. I never should have. It was like a literal plot point. I should have never wear the scarf. It's like, I don't give a fuck. And maybe it's just because that I'm just a chauvinistic, unsensitive man because I don't pay attention, and I don't pay attention to clothing, and I'm not sensitive to things like that, and I'm just a big fat male pig, and I fully accept that. That's probably legit. But it's just like, I mean, in terms of the storyline, it doesn't fucking matter. So what if she's got fucking horns? It doesn't fucking matter. She's got wings and a bunch of other shit anyway. Like, who cares about the fucking horns? She didn't have horns in the original story anyway. She just had a fucking hat that looks like horns. It's fucking stupid. Okay, so anyway, so that happens, and then the wedding happens, and they're going to have the wedding, and at this point, Aurora winds up discovering the secret entrance to, the lair that Michelle Pfeiffer has with all the weapons she's stockpiling and the spinning wheel, and it's one of the better scenes, I think. It's this really creepy scene where she has all these worn-out, faceless mannequins that are all cracked and broken that she puts all her dresses on, and you have to actually twist one of the heads of the mannequins to open the secret door. It was a little Silent Hill. I'll give it credit for that. And she finds Warwick Davis, and she finds the captured Fae, and she walks over to the spinning wheel and ignores everybody and almost presses the needle and almost fucking kills herself again. And so what it's implied is that she's under the enchantment, and it's going to make her she's under the enchantment. My problem is the way the scene plays out, it just makes Aurora look like a dumbass. It's like, really, bitch? Really? You're just gonna go prick your ningle on a fucking spinning wheel again? I get she was under the effects of this kind of magic, but again, that should be done. She was broken from that curse, so it doesn't make any fucking sense. So then she meets Warwick Davis, and Michelle Pfeiffer has a villain speech, and I don't give a shit. So then we get to the frickin' wedding. So she chains her up for the wedding and holds her hostage, and all the fairies are supposed to show. So all the fairies show up, and they go in this little room. The stupid fucking, 3 fairies from the other movie are there, which I noticed the actresses didn't appear to return, at least not in human form, just, maybe voices, but They all go and sit down, and the plan is, and this is, I think, your favorite part of the movie, so I think you're going to go here, where they lock them in this room, and they have all the fairies sit there, and then the redheaded elf lady is going to orgasmically play the organ, and it's going to shoot out a lot of the freaking red powder and kill all the fairies. Which you loved. You fell in love with that scene. And I fell in love with the scene.
I love it so much.
I fell in love with the scene because the fairies started fucking dying. And I'm like, yes, fuck them! And this is one of the only things I liked about the movie. And I could keep going. Do you want to go?
No, I'm gonna go.
Because
it's for me.
I loved it not because okay. Let me say this. Jordan dying too because I hate these characters, and particularly I wanted the fairies to die because they're abominations to the three fairies.
I think they're a symbol of everything wrong with these two movies.
So
them in particular, I don't care about the other ones. If they kill everyone in that church, it doesn't matter to me, right?
Yeah.
I don't hate all these little magical creatures that bad. I just they do nothing.
Yeah.
But those three fairies did.
Yeah.
However, that's not why I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the whole guy. I enjoyed it because of how brutal it is. This scene is batshit insane.
Yeah.
Because you have this. We keep calling her an elf because the actress just looks like an elf, honestly. I don't know why or how. She's supposed to be human, but she's so skinny and her ears look pointed to me. I was just like, oh, this ginger elf is working for the queen, I guess. I don't know why, but here we are. And she gets in front of the organ, has the powder, because I know it's good. I know it's like it's iron, like gunpowder iron or whatever, mixed with some of the petals to make this red dust.
Yeah.
But that's what it looks like to me. To me, every time one of these things is fired and it exploded and erupted into this beautiful pink cloud, all I kept thinking was Carnival. It just looked like something from Brazil or Jamaica.
Or Moulin Rouge. I'm half expecting like soul, sister, soul. Just like.
No. I'm serious. In Jamaica, the Carnival, they have like powdered dust that they throw of different colors,
Yeah.
blue, purple, pink, whatever. And so that's what this reminded me of. I was like, this is the most beautiful genocide I've ever seen in my life. It's really amazing. But it's horrible. But it is a genocide. It's horrible. You have this chick who has been this elf chick who's been possessed by the spirit of the Phantom of the Opera. She is going to town.
Oh, she's just rolling her eyes. She's rolling her eyes back in her head like she's the Undertaker. It's like
her eyes, and she's straight up orgasming like, oh. The classical music mixed with screams and wails of misery and death. It excites me.
It reminded me of a really awesome horror exploitation movie called Faust, which is like kind of like it's about it's based on a comic book. It actually I think predates Spawn, but it feels very much like Spawn. It's like a guy who becomes like a demon superhero, and there's a character in that who is the self-proclaimed horror. Who is this woman who works for the devil, who is always down to fuck. She's always down to she oozes sexuality, and she like kills people while she's having sex with them, like bathes in their blood. It reminded me of that. It reminded me of like she's just oh yes, and like blood, all this red is like flying all over her and like splattering over her. It's like that's what it reminded me of. It made me think of that scene from Faust.
This is hilarious because we're seeing
Faust, Love of the Damned. That movie's called. Yeah.
We're seeing this crazy ginger elf orgasming and she plays, and every time she hits a red keynote, it's what shoots the freaking powder out of the like a cannonball out of the damn organ, explodes, and this thing. I don't remember if you said it or not, but when it touches people, it isn't. It's the way they die.
They turn into plants.
They like revert to the
plant.
They revert to the natural state of what they are. Since most of these creatures are very plant, flower based or whatever. Which to me they're wood nymphs. That's what they are. That's what they are to me. But because of that, they turn back to that shit. So if there's a creature that looks like a dandelion, comes a dandelion. If it's a creature that looks like a mushroom, it's a goddamn mushroom now.
Yeah.
Groot, for example, he takes one for the team, notices that they're about to get hit with the shit, covers the three dumb fairies, and turns into a fucking.
That was one of the worst moments in the movie for me. That pissed me off so bad because they were right about to die. Those three fucking fairies were right about to die, and then he comes and saves them, and it's like fuck you. And the worst part is. The movie made me screaming angrily about a person who is nobly sacrificing their lives for those he cares about. And they made me hate that. It's like, this is a hero. This is a guy saving those he cares about, and I'm screaming, fuck you, because he's hurting the audience. He's hurting me by letting those fucking fairies live. Those three fucking annoying fairies live.
Think of it this way. Think of it this way. It wasn't just that. It was Groot nobly sacrificing himself for these three twats.
Yeah. It was bullshit.
These bumbling fools.
The only thing that could have been
that's what.
Yeah. The only thing that could be worse is if it was like if he was disintegrating like Infinity War. That would be the only thing worse. And Rocket's like, no, they're not. Rocket's just like, no, Groot, no, they're not worth it, Groot, no.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
But
no,
when I watched the movie, I died laughing because I kept thinking, wow.
And
the only thing worse is that if it wasn't Groot himself, and I just kept going. He got hit with the powder, and I just literally said out loud, "We are." And I was just dying because it was like, no. Is that what you really want me to think, Disney? You want me to think of a beloved character from another franchise you make money off of, sacrificing himself for these three bastardized versions of characters I love?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh, I hate this atrocity.
Now,
I hope one of them dies before
and fortunately, one of them dies before this summer. The Blue Fairy Merryweather, I think it is like she goes and sacrifices her. Once again, she heroically sacrificed her.
Don't say that name.
Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
Don't say it.
Are you gonna go Wing Commander on me? Are you like if you die you don't exist?
No. The reason why I'm saying that is because first off, that is the Blue Fairy's name from the movie that I love.
Yeah.
But
it turns out have a loophole.
Continue
hating them
100%
because
the
fairies
they don't have
the same names at all. They're not Merryweather. No, they're more like Thistle and Branch and shit.
Why'd they change their names? Is this an adaptation or not? Oh my god! I didn't even know that, Josh. You gave me a whole new thing to hate about this movie. Oh my god!
Starkiller
strikes
again. Oh, you are a Sith! Oh! The rule of two has failed!
Let the hate swell.
By Revan's sexy dance! If you beat the game with an equal amount of light points and dark side points.
Okay. Pirate. Oh my god. Executed in Order 66.
You did! You just Order 66'd me! You just Order 60. I'm Aya Sakuya and I just got shot in the back. This is bullshit. Anyway, the Blue Fairy sacrifices herself, and I'm like, yay, she's dead, fuck her. And I love how at the end of the movie, and Aurora gets married, and those two bitches didn't even notice. It's they immediately start arguing about like what dress she should wear. They didn't give no fucks that their sister's dead. No fucks.
This is you're missing the best part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
This is a genocide.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most beautiful genocide I've ever seen in my life because between the color and the fact that they turn into beautiful flowers and everything, it's hilarious. I'm like, they're getting away with this because it's not blood, because they're not showing anything. So as a result, this very horrible scene, even those characters I don't like, it's still a terrible scene.
Yeah.
It's meant to be reminiscent
of something horrible in history. Let's be honest. They're locking people in a church and killing them.
Okay.
Again, Michelle Pfeiffer's character is very clearly a white supremacist, possibly Trump. And it's like, okay.
Exactly.
And thematically, I think that works.
Alright.
I feel like that, like, I'll give the movie credit there.
But the rating...
Yeah.
The rating of this film is PG.
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
Once upon a time,
PG, that rating had balls
Right.
because there was G, PG, and R. There was no PG-13.
And so
there are movies that we grew up with, that we love,
Yeah.
that
have a PG rating.
Today,
you'd be like, that's a PG rating? For example,
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Right.
PG.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost
Right.
Ark.
Yeah.
PG.
That I buy, but yeah, that movie got hardcore when it needed to, melting Nazis and all.
Well, what happened was that they didn't know where to put it because Indiana Jones was not hardcore enough to get an R back in the day.
Right.
But it was
clearly too hard for G.
Yeah.
The best thing they could put it was PG, but that was pushing
Yeah.
it.
And actually,
just to let you know, the first PG-13 movie is The Temple of Doom.
it's
Nice.
Indiana Jones that created PG-13.
Yeah, because Indiana Jones is awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But what I'm saying
is nowadays PG is softer. PG is what's used for
pretty
much every Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks
Yeah.
animated feature is PG.
There's
Yeah.
There's no reason to call them PG, honestly. Most of these movies are perfectly good G movies. There's nothing wrong with being a G.
Yeah.
But
They want to feel more grown up or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Some nonsense like that.
But here's the thing.
But here's the thing.
That's
how people view PGs now, because so many of them
are
are practically G-rated movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? Here comes this film.
Yeah.
Doing something that I argue is on par with at least the Pirates of the Caribbean or some other Disney PG-13 film.
But it's saying,
no, it's PG.
Because
you know
It's
what?
like Grave of the Firefly shit, dude.
You know why?
You know why? Again,
Because
fuck the fairy folk.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit
about their murder?
They're just
They're just flowers.
Yeah, it's like I said.
My God,
It's
why?
like I said at the beginning. They don't matter. They're not real characters. They're just scenery porn. They're just in a computer somewhere.
Okay.
But these are supposed to be sentient, feeling life forms.
No. Okay. Hold on. Actually, no, I think it's worse than that because picturing myself as a kid.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't make that much of a connection,
as a kid, I could connect with certain things, certain elements.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty things
been murdered like this, and yet in a weird, pretty way, would have fucked with my brain.
Yeah.
Because
it's subliminal saying, yes, we massacred them, but it's okay. And what's great,
it's not because
to me,
This is legit horrifying, and I think I know what you're thinking about, and I'm thinking about it too. Don Cheadle's Captain Planet. It's Don Cheadle's Captain Planet. It's Don Cheadle turning people into trees with his dick. And it's like, I'm not killing anybody. I'm not killing them. I just turned them into a tree. A tree's alive. It's like, what's wrong? What's the problem? Did I stop it? Please, you turned all these people into trees. It's like, I didn't kill any of them. Well, you got a problem with this, Captain Planet? You got a problem with the Planeteers? Maybe I should turn you all into fucking trees.
Hold on. But what they're saying, but here's the thing: the movie is telling you two different things at the same time. Because it's telling you, oh no, it's okay to show this.
Yeah.
Because it's just turning into trees. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Cares that it's trees and not blood, because blood matters because we can connect.
Because people are fucking stupid. This is this argument that Angry Joe had with Alien vs. Predator. There's no blood. I saw tons of seahorse exploding.
Hold on.
What you're saying is
that they say, oh, it doesn't matter because they never developed the character.
This is true,
but that's not what's being on display here. What's on display here is he wants you to feel for these characters. They do matter,
and it's
okay to watch their grisly death because it's pretty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
When really it's
you don't understand how horribly messed up.
You still there? He said horribly messed up and he disappeared. See, he's ranting on. He's on a roll right now, and he hasn't realized I'm going too quiet right now. The last thing I heard you say was how horribly messed up this is. Yeah. All right. Leave the call and come back. Okay. Ah. Phrasing. No, do it. Leave the call in the Discord call and then come back. That should do it. That should fix it. Yeah, I still see your picture there. It's like your picture should disappear and then... Alright. Let me try on my end. There you go. Yeah, it just took a minute. Okay, and say things. Yeah, there you go. How horribly messed up. That's where we left off.
I'm saying how horribly messed up this whole thing is. Because they're saying it's okay to witness, for you to be sitting down watching the massacre of a specific group of people. And I'm putting it in quotes. You get what I'm trying to get at here. They're saying it's okay to show it. Not just do it, but show it to kids because it's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
It is aesthetically pleasing to watch the obliteration of people.
That's like Vlad the Impaler shit.
Wait. They turn into trees and flowers and acorns and shit. You're like, they're just plants. They still live. No, because the characters want to treat it as if this is a way. This is death.
Yeah.
Because they lost their consciousness. They lost their agency.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is death.
And this goes on.
This goes on.
From when they escape the church, this big war is happening, and the Fae are now coming out of the cave, and the air squadron to fight them, and there's powder everywhere. Again, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love the powder. It's gorgeous. And it's turning these fuckers into, I don't know, dandelions or something.
Yeah. I think the Dark Fate turns them like crystals and explode.
Again,
yeah.
And Francis
proves that he's actually a good leader and a terrible zealot.
Yeah.
All right. And to try to save them.
Because
that's what he's supposed to do.
Here's the thing, though.
The
tree thing is really doubly horrible, though. I mean, I think it's actually more traumatic for kids because if you actually think about what's going on, it's like, yeah, they are staying alive, but they are losing their consciousness. They're becoming. You're not really sparing them. You're turning them from one type of life form into another. It's more horrible. It's like death of personality. It's actually, if you actually think about what's going on, it's way more horrific.
But that's what I'm saying, dude.
That's the whole. But I'm saying that this movie broke me because you're hearing in my voice the anger because it is an amazing thing. To me, I think it's really psychologically messed up. But it's going to be the kind of thing that stays with you subconsciously because. Doesn't hit right away. At first you're thinking, oh, it's pretty, because you're stuck with the visual, you're stuck with the fact that you're thinking, it's just plants.
It's gonna
get you later. Will eventually get you that, oh shit, no, they lost their soul, or their conscience, or whatever you want to call it. Right? So here's the thing, so that's a big thing, but we don't have time for more or whatever, because we go straight into war, and we're fighting blah, 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 on this side and that side. And again, I bring up the zealot thing and how Francis doesn't really work because of how he's portrayed.
Yeah, the movie is telling you he's the bad guy.
Because the movie wants to tell us that war. What is it good?
Absolutely nothing.
There are bad people on both sides, and there are also fine people on both sides.
Oh, did you mean there are bad people on both sides? Is that what you meant to say, Josh? They were perfectly bad. They were perfectly good. There were perfectly good people on both sides.
Yes.
But that's what it is. But that's what the movie wants to show you.
Right.
Why? Because they
don't show it correctly.
And who cares?
Because what you really want is to have the Moors essentially still be the good guys when the other group throws down their swords and says, you know what, you're right.
This is bullshit.
And they get together. Supposed to lead us that typical fairy tale happy ever after that we want.
And it's so rushed.
So unbelievably rushed. basic. I mean, I really don't care about the in between of it.
Yeah.
Maleficent kills the queen.
Oh, she didn't kill her. She didn't kill her. Well, let's hurry up and talk about the things I like for a minute. So the blue fairy died. So that was awesome. So then the dark fae showed up, and even though they were a lot likable than the other fae, they start dying, and that's great. And so there's just a lot of just killing of fairies and killing of these characters I hate, and that's awesome. And the dark fae are really getting their ass kicked. And then Maleficent shows up. She finally gets off her ass and does something in this fucking movie with her name in the title, and she starts blowing things up. And I'm happy because so then humans start dying because I hate the humans too. So and then she and meanwhile she I think shoots a big fireball right at the parapet where the queen's at. And Michelle Pfeiffer, you gave credit to the acting. Let me give some credit to Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer just walks off a fireball she just walks away casually like a fucking pimp. That was cold, bro. That was like Iceberg Slim cold. You know, that was what that was. That was like taking a bullet through your hat and finishing your drink. And it's yeah, oh, bring it on, bitch. It was like she was just cold as shit. But she holds Aurora captive to lure in Maleficent. And then when Maleficent goes to save her, she shoots her in the back and Maleficent dies. And I was really happy when she died. Yay, fuck Maleficent, she's dead. Yay. And then she comes back to life as a stupid fucking, phoenix. And then she doesn't kill Michelle Pfeiffer, she turns her into a goat. So she basically did, so we're talking about this whole death of personality.
That's right.
Yeah, we have this death of personality thing. We're talking about how awful it is that she's killing these people, but she's basically turning them into something else that's still technically alive, so PGA,
yes.
But they're still really dying. And she did basically the exact same thing to this person, except it's arguably worse. Because a goat has a mind, so it's entirely possible Michelle Pfeiffer is still in there. And instead of just killing her, which at this point is what the character deserved, and at the end they would be more merciful, let's just turn her into a goat and keep her around. And just humiliate her for the rest of existence, so she can never be human ever again. It's let's do that instead. Oh, we could bring her back if we feel like it. It's why don't you just kill her? Why don't you just, it's a goat, you can eat it, but then we're cannibals.
No. Here's a funny thing.
Yeah.
There was the goat. I do remember. I'm watching again. I was watching this with my friend, and because the king gets a callback.
Right.
I forgot the line, but it's like.
It's their natural state or something.
And he's saying that about that's who she is as a goat now. I don't have feelings for her anymore.
Right. Well, he got over that marriage real quick.
Right. But
he did.
No, I get it. She got stabbed,
put into a
near-death state. She almost destroyed the world. Okay.
Yeah, no time to watch him mourn that he's been betrayed this entire time. That might actually lead to some character development.
But he flipped really quick.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I was sitting watching this movie with my friend, and she goes, No.
Keep her as a ghost.
I have use for her.
The bedroom.
I was like, what?
That's the joke.
Hey, she's technically human. It's okay. Look, hey, you took it in the ass when we were married. You were human. What's the difference now?
He's going to fuck that goat. He's gonna fuck that goat. I bet you anything. Watch the end credits scene.
Aurora and Philip accidentally walk in on her and just what? How's it going? No, hey, she's my wife. It's okay. It's okay that she's a goat. She was human originally. Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. And okay, but who's that?
No.
Who's that bald guy in the next room with the donkey? Oh man, you didn't say anybody would come in. Oh, gotta hurry up, gotta finish. I miss my donkey. Clerks 2, another better film.
So there's that.
But this is what I'm trying to get. Yeah, you're right. She doesn't turn into a goat.
This is the
thing. It's the goat thing.
It's the fact that once she's taken care of, the war is over, right?
The fight is done. And we quickly. And what do we do? We go to the wedding.
We instantly get married.
Holy! There's no mourning. There's barely any time to collect the dead. Let's get together and have a wedding.
Yeah. And everybody's happy.
Like you were mentioning. I love this because it's. You mentioned the fact that they clearly didn't give two shits because the other two fairies just go along without, as if the blue one just never mattered, right?
And they start arguing over their own colors, like what her dress should be. Oh, it should be green.
Yes,
pink,
yes.
Green, pink. It's like your sister is dead. Your sister is dead. I hated her because she's annoying like you, but like you feel nothing. All the more reason to hate these three. It's like, you know.
And hold on. But the thing is, it was meant to be across the board because there is no mourning.
There's no
retribution. Not one moment
of
Maleficent saying hell no.
Trying,
because look at all the people who died.
Yeah. Fairies died, dark fays died, humans died. No one gives a fuck.
Died.
No one said anything
about any of them. Exactly. Not one bit.
Yeah.
Immediately. I'm not talking about like days. I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about immediately. Minutes.
Let's clean
this place up.
Put on a wedding.
Let's get married. Let's be okay with each other on two sets of the aisle. Harmony now. You know what? The crazy bitch is a goat. I can dance with a fairy.
Oh,
I do love me some humans, says the fairy. Oh my god.
With the bodies of the dead littered, but I guess they probably didn't smell that bad because the other bodies are turned into trees and flowers and shit.
No, it was easy. They just took the leaves.
Yeah.
Were the bodies of the other fairy. And just threw them on top of the bodies of the humans. And burned them. You know. Because it's better for the earth.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This also was a movie so at this point, like in terms of my rage, it was at this point where I was done. I expected it to be bad. I didn't realize it would be this bad, and like by this point I was like, please end, and no, this movie decided to return to the king my ass. And it just kept going. It just kept going and wouldn't end, and it really pissed me off. And it was like, I sped through the credits, sir. I was worried there might be some kind of Marvel bullcrap of an end credit sequence. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm speeding through. So, yeah, that's all I've got. What do you got, sir?
Well, in conclusion to that, this is my personal point, because I'm sure people are wondering, Starkiller. How in the hell could you enjoy this film with all the anger you let loose, all the things you pointed out that were so horrible and wrong?
And I have an answer for that.
How?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
No, shut up. That did not happen at the proceedings. There was
again, like when, you know, my wizard friend over here, Gandalf, like when he thinks with his pipe, he thinks deep, very deep.
Yes.
Here's the thing. And I know that's another thing too. People go, well, you liked it because you were drunk or stoned or whatever. And
Josh didn't see the movie. He saw that dinosaur movie that Jack Black and Kyle Gass had when they smoked pot in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Oh, dude, Search of Sasquatch is on. When you can snatch the remote control from my hand, then you can decide what we watch. That's what happened. Yeah.
And the answer to that is no. The answer to that is no, because for me, I could feel the rage and the anger inside, but it's being held back, and what it allowed me to do is just enjoy the stupid.
Yeah.
There was so much
going on in this film in terms of just wrongness.
From a cinematic
standpoint, storytelling standpoint, the movie is tone deaf. Oh my god, this movie is so tone deaf.
Yeah.
And all these things just happen in rapid succession to me over and over and over. It basically beat me into Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, this movie was so bad that I'm like, I love it! It's madness past the T.
I think.
Would you stay for some tea?
I think, like, speaking of another movie, I think we've reversed on. I think this is a good example of. This is like us on The Last Airbender, but in reverse. Because The Last Airbender is like your top for like worst of all time. You fucking hate that movie. Whereas I think I had a sort of Stockholm Syndrome with that film when the penis hair showed up. Because when the penis hair showed up, I just started laughing, and I was able to kind of enjoy myself. It still was a shitty movie, but it didn't hurt me as bad. Whereas this one, it was like, you were able to laugh at it, where I was just like yelling at the screen. It was like, just end! Why? What the Ah! It was just, yeah. Disney, stop making live action versions of your Renaissance movies. Just stop it. Stop. Go ahead.
I agree with you on the reversal. I agree on the fact that if I was to make one claim, if I was to wonder why this movie didn't make me as mad in that area, because I was mad.
Yeah.
So how is it that I ended up enjoying this film? Because unlike The Last Airbender, this was a sequel to a shitty movie.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The first film already gained so much of my hate, and I knew that there was no way they were going to fix any of those mistakes. They're just going to double down on them. So I was already prepared. I was emotionally prepared for stupid.
Yeah.
From the beginning, because the second these characters are on screen, the moment it says light camera action, it's DOA for me. There's nothing you can do.
This is a movie.
I hate all of you to begin with.
Here's the thing. This is like a movie I would have only watched for this show, for the sake of a show, for the sake of a podcast. It was I didn't. Maleficent was bad enough to the point where I'm not going to see the sequel, and normally that spares me a lot of pain. It's like, oh, I hated the first one, I'm not coming back for the next one. But here it's like, for the honor of the show, I will watch this movie. And oh man, for the honor of the show, I watched this movie. I hurt myself today. You could have it all. My empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make
her classification.
Yeah. It was. Oh god.
There's a classification. I use that. For me.
Yeah.
For me, there's a group of movies, a type of movies. When I go bad movies that I know are bad, but I watch them anyway. It's a hurt movie.
Yeah.
I will sing the Johnny Cash version of Hurt.
Yeah.
As I play it, and that was this. This was a hurt movie.
Yeah.
I know better. It's different.
It's like I think things like
different from
The Last Jedi was traumatic because I was expecting the new Star Wars to be good. I think a lot of people were, and so I think that's really why it just blew people away how bad it was. Whereas this, everybody knew. This thing very much deserves its Rotten Tomatoes score, both critic and audience score. It's garbage, and most people agree that it's garbage. It's
It is. I don't know, but I think if someone like me already was prepared for the stupid, and you were down for this is going to be shit because the first one was so insulting and it was shit. I honestly think you can enjoy this. I looked around.
So, Josh, would you recommend Maleficent, Mistress of Evil?
For so bad it's good movie, yes, I really do.
Yeah.
I still stand by that. I think this movie it doesn't happen right away, but I think this movie just beats you into loving it stupid that much.
So what you're basically saying is this movie abuses you until you like it. That's healthy.
Oh yes. See, you're confusing me with a glowing review. It's not a glowing review.
I know.
Okay, it's the truth.
I know it's not a glowing review. It's like, but you're basically saying he's not that bad. He doesn't hit me all the time. That's basically what you're saying, sir.
You know what? You're right. It's a Harley Quinn movie.
Well, I would not recommend this film. I thought this movie is terrible. I think Jonathan liked the fight scene at the end. Not even for the fight scene at the end. The fight scene at the end, like in terms of an actual a fight, like a Lord of the Rings fantasy fight or a big action movie fight, it was garbage. It's nothing compared to like Infinity War Endgame or something the Marvel movies would do. It's nothing compared to Lord of the Rings, which it apes off. It was just the only joy there was characters I don't like are dying. That's it. There's no. This movie is insulting if you love Sleeping Beauty. It's insulting in filmmaking, and I would argue that it is a symbol of waste. Glorious, awful waste. And this movie made me a Bernie bro. Like it's like before we did this, like Malmoto called me up and we were talking, and he was talking about the movie, and I basically I did a little mini review with him, which was unrecorded, which he seemed to enjoy. But I basically told him, dude, this movie turned me into you, because as we pointed out before, I know you love Bernie. Bernie's been growing on me. I love Bernie now, but I was not a Bernie bro when he was initially running. Malmoto is a huge, unbelievably annoying Bernie bro. He throws shit at me on Facebook all the time about it. He's really fucking annoying. But I basically told him, this turned me into you. This turned me into a Bernie bro. I was like, all I could see in this movie was waste. It's like how many starving families could have been fed by this film's budget? How many extra vaccines could we have made and vaccinated people against COVID with this movie? How many like families that are food insecure or are going to lose their houses due to eviction could we have helped? How many like people could we have helped with mental illness? We could have made a mental illness treatment like kind of service in Florida and helped out a lot of the homeless people and the crazies. But no, Disney wanted to use its hard-earned Marvel money, which it made from a good product that everybody liked, to make a stupid vanity project when they could have made something better. If they want to not do service to the world and not give back, and just want to make more products that give them money, fine. But give me a product that's good. Give me something like make. I wanted to be pleasantly surprised by this movie. I was really hoping to be surprised by it. I expected it to be bad. I didn't expect it to be this bad. I didn't expect to be this angry. I didn't expect to be like comparing it to the Resident Evil films. I didn't think anybody would knock Mila Jovovich off her throne. I never thought that would happen. And it hurt me. It hurt me bad. I will find a way. Yeah. I want to start crying, Josh. Right now, I just want to start crying on this recording and embarrass myself. What do you think? That was awful. So what are we watching next week, Josh?
I'm not 100% sure.
Because the question is, do we want to go back to watching good things, or do we want to hurt ourselves again? For the sake of comedy.
Well, maybe we should just... I think maybe we should try to discover whether we hate or like something. It has been suggested to me to check out the Amazon Prime original Hannah, which has about 2 seasons out that I know of.
So you want to do Hannah? I kind of want to do Loki.
We could. Okay. Here's the thing with Loki. I have seen the first 3 episodes of Loki.
Okay.
Episode 4 comes out Wednesday, but again, the thing's not done. So, you could. You want to catch up, and we'll talk about 3 episodes of Loki. Sure.
I'm easy, depending on how we want to do. Or we can talk about McDonald's because your brother's weird.
Oh god.
Do you want to talk about? Let's talk about McDonald's. Apparently, because
no, I don't want to talk about fast food.
Let's talk about.
What's wrong with your brother? I don't want this to become a thing. All of a sudden, it's like.
Okay, let's put it that way.
If it's fast food that has a tie to something
that I normally care about,
the comics, maybe.
And for that,
I have something.
Yeah. Like
I have KFC.
I feel like what we really like, what that show should be, is we should just try to imitate Josh Prey, because the first time I saw Josh Prey was like him advertising he was talking about like him trying the chicken sandwich from Popeyes, which got me hooked on the chicken sandwich from Popeyes. I feel like that's all we should do, is we should just we should get something new from McDonald's and eat it, and I should be like, oh my god, the new bacon Big Mac Whopper sandwich is so fire. Oh my god, it's so food. Oh my god, this is the best food ever. Oh, this food makes me feel like a vampire. This food makes me feel like nothing else matters. Oh my god. And I just do my horrible Josh Prey impression. I think that's what we should do. And that should be the McDonald's episode. What's wrong with your brother? What's wrong with your brother? Why is your brother approach like what's your favorite metal band? Top 10 metal bands? Okay, well I really like this band. It's just like the charts don't suggest that. Fucking VH1, your brother, I swear.
I
know.
What the fuck?
I mentioned this in private.
But yes.
I'm not gonna talk about McDonald's. I'm not. What I was trying to say too is that if I was going to talk about this nonsense, I still wanted to tie back into comics or sci-fi, something that I want to talk about on this show. And I don't have that right now from McDonald's, but I do have it for another fast food.
We could talk about Mac and Me.
Bring that up.
I
have a better.
We want to talk about Mac and Me. We could definitely talk about that. Are you talking about like Green Lantern versus the Colonel?
What was that again?
Are you talking about the Colonel Sanders versus the Green Lantern?
I'm talking about
the whole Colonel Sanders saga.
Fuck yeah.
Because I actually
downloaded those comics. I have to go get them back. They're in the cloud right now. But I read those comics where DC Comics crossed over with KFC to tell these stories. Because it's not just there is one with the Green Lantern, but there's also Infinite Colonels in the multiverse.
Oh,
they went there. They goddamn went there. There's an evil colonel, and then these other different colonels. Like, oh, the good colonels unite! And oh my sweet Jesus, it's so stupid, but it's so entertaining.
You remember when episode 1 was?
It's just like, on the one hand, this reminds me of Silver Age comics, so I
yeah.
I can't
hate it too much.
You remember when
but at the same time, it's like.
Do you remember when Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace was coming out, and Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC were all promoting it? And they had these commercials where the Colonel, a pizza delivery girl, and the Taco Bell dog were all fighting the Trade Federation droids, all in preparation for that. And like Colonel Sanders was established that he's a Jedi, and the pizza delivery girl had a blaster, and I don't think the Taco Bell dog did anything other than say stuff. Taco Bell. Those were good times.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
That's his thing. So,
I remember one time when the Colonel was animated and he was playing basketball and he was going booyah. KFC's weird, Josh. It's very weird. Yeah, it's all designed to get you to go to KFC, but it's like, yeah, they've done some interesting things with Colonel Sanders. The Colonel may have passed on, but he keeps coming back. Okay.
They really have.
So our options now are Hannah, the first 3 episodes of Loki, or the Colonel Sanders saga. What should we do?
If we actually had fans, I would create a poll and
see them vote.
Write in the comments. What do you guys want to see? Do you want us to talk about McDonald's with John Prophecy because John Prophecy's fucking weird, or do you want us to hear talk about Hannah, 3 episodes of Loki, or the Colonel Sanders saga? Should we talk about the top 10 metal frontmen or hard rock bands and the other things that because your brother's insane? What? Let us know in the comments. That or we can roll dice.
There you go.
We'll figure it out. We're going to check out comments. So if there's nothing there, we'll just roll dice.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a die 3. I'm gonna do a die 3 real quick. With my dice, and I'm like for us specifically because okay, 1, 4. 1 and 4, it's Hannah. 2 and 5, it's Loki. 3 and 6, it's the Sanders saga. I rolled a 4, so we're talking about McDonald's. That's what we're doing. We're talking about McDonald's. No, we're talking about Hannah. And like how many seasons of Hannah are there? Unless somebody says otherwise. Unless people poll us and are like, all like, no, I want to hear about Loki. I want to hear about McDonald's or Colonel Sanders. It's just like I say we do Hannah.
Okay. Hannah at the moment. Let me double check. I have to check it was 2 seasons. I believe there's supposed to be a 3rd one coming. I just don't know when. Let me see. Which came out in 2019. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
So
there's only 2 seasons right now, but there is a 3rd season coming. It's supposed to come out this year. It just doesn't have a date when.
It's just 2021.
It's just 2021. That's it. So,
yeah.
And season 1 and 2 are 8 episodes. Basically, it's a 16-episode show. So
okay, all right. I can. That's not unreasonable for me to do. That's like The Boys. So it's like okay. Okay, so I think next week we're doing Hannah.
I'll start watching now.
Okay.
Not now, but
later tonight.
I think we have more technical problems. We should just use Discord again, and we'll use Bandicam, and we should be good to go. If not, we'll... Again, I'm hoping a lot of this was just the weather or something like that. So...
Oh yeah, hopefully. Are we done recording?
No, we haven't actually ended the recording yet, so it's like... But yeah, Hannah next week, folks. Hannah next week. I'm going to end the recording now. You got to get out of here and take care of shit. I got to take care of some shit.
Signing out.
Signing out. Catch y'all later. Hope you enjoyed me losing my mind.
Yes.
Hannah next week, folks, unless you guys say otherwise. I'll talk to you later.